And we are live. Hello, and welcome back to Polymorphed D&D. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting session, considering the spicy stuff that happened last time, which we will get to in the recap in just a moment. But yeah, we're back. Actually 1 week after the last one, but it's getting later and later every time, apparently, because somebody decided to get a job. Imagine being, cringe.
Contributing to society. What the hell is all that about?
Of course.
It's kind of cringe, not gonna lie. I mean, it's so much better just,
much more profitable.
it's just better to sit at home and, pretty much, I mean, I'm doing my bachelor's, but like, that's not really working.
We are refining our crafts. Our crafts happen to be horrendously insignificant.
Alright, well, we're here now anyway, late as it may be. So let's get into the recap. So, last time, the session started inconspicuously with just a bit more exploring of the Citadel, Arx Oceanum. It didn't, not a lot happened since you had mainly been clearing the whole place for like one full session before that. So all that really happened was a quick trip to explore the courtyard that ended up in a bit of chaos with some back and forths. Storm got there, left, went back after unlocking the door remotely. Found some stuff, didn't know what else to take. Dara was gonna go there with Jaxson, tried to fly in, didn't work. Tried to walk in, just annoyed them, kind of tried to fly in again or something. Just a big old back and forth. Nothing really worked. You angered the monsters. Jaxson got knocked down by one of these big plant things that lived in the courtyard. Arisa had to raise him up. Fritz was still dying upstairs. A bit of a mess, but nonetheless, you all were pretty much not really doing anything too exciting. Got some interesting new things. I can't remember, because you got the armor. What else did you take?
Staff as well.
Did you?
No, we didn't get
the staff, Jacob. Oh, that sounds...
I do know that Storm took one of those potion thingies.
Right, yeah, you took a potion.
With the rest of the group, but
yep.
I don't know if it's actually magical.
I just wanted to see if Jacob started to explain the magic item we didn't have. That would be amazing.
Might have worked if there had been a staff in there that was magical, but...
Fuck!
No, but yeah, it ended up being a bit of a failed attempt to get Dara in there to detect magic, so you were just happy with what you got, and I think you were all, the two of you, Jaxson and Dara, were too ashamed to admit to the others that you'd failed to get in. But eventually, as you were kind of just waiting for the sunrise, deciding to kind of just stay awake as your sleep schedule is all matter of messed up now. The Spellborn Octavian approached you and just said that he was gonna come along with you for the time being, and was thankful to be, if you were gonna charge him up and just let him go once you'd reached some city.
No, we're not charging anymore.
Well, at least he was relatively safe on the ship, and it's better than being stranded on an island that people don't even know of its existence,
Fuck.
But you continued your journey, somewhat sleep deprived, and a few hours into it, around 3 or so in the afternoon, I believe it was, Storm spotted some weird blue light shimmer thing that kind of looked like some cracked glass in reality.
Sapphires, excuse me.
Well, it smelled like sapphires.
Oh yeah, right.
And, yeah, pretty much. Either way, you decided to investigate that a bit further, kind of taking or getting permission to borrow the boat, to the smaller boat, to just head out there and check it out to see what's up. You know, you did some experimenting. Eli tried to warn you not to get too close, but, you know, Storm shot a crossbow bolt in there, disappeared. You sent Florp in there to see what happened to him. He disappeared. So, of course, you know, Storm, being the slippery lizard he is, decided to charm Dara, and then Jaxson promised to say stop to Fritz when he was getting close, which of course he never did.
Yeah.
Resulting in all four of you drifting into this portal and appearing in the elemental plane of water. With nothing but water in every direction, surprise, considering that it is the elemental plane of water. You were slowly starting to drown, as you were also forced to battle against these elemental beings that were rapidly approaching from 3 different directions. You fought them off and then decided to just give up. Held hands, had a moment just looking into each other's eyes. Jaxson apologized to Fritz for getting him into this, for essentially being about to get his friend killed. And then the heartfelt moment came when Jaxson looked Storm in the eyes and just blubbed out, "Friends."
Question mark.
To which Storm, of course, finally, after all this time, responded with, "Give light." And proceeded to swim away at full speed. Which, of course, because it's Storm, somehow ended up being just the right thing to do, and ended up saving the entire party, as there was another elemental rift just 30 or so more feet in the direction that you were going initially. So, you swam through the second rift and appeared back out in the material plane, washed up on the shores, these rocky shores that looked somewhat unfamiliar environment-wise. Looking around you, you saw the sun rising behind you, strangely enough, since you were last around the afternoon or so when you entered the elemental rift. And of course, as you looked around a bit more, you saw this fisherman stood on top of a small cliff, or a kind of jutting rock formation, just fishing and having just noticed you. However, the unique thing about him is that he's not a human, not an elf, nothing like that, but rather a turtle, something that you've only seen once, in the form of Yaru, a man from a different continent. So, that is where we will pick up the session. Just like that. So, yeah, you're all there, having just been like washed up by the waves on this shore. You're all still recovering.
Oh shit! Water
Yes,
in my
it's
nose,
salt water. That is indeed correct. Yeah, some of you kind of vomit out some water.
Yoru is that?
So he's a bit further away, but he's like, you see how he's kind of like pulling out his fishing line, just kind of like wrapping that up into a bundle and then preparing to kind of make his way over to you.
Oh, nice.
I didn't think we would meet him again.
He does not look quite like Yaru. I mean, through your kind of dizziness and, you know, salt water in your eyes and whatnot, he might do initially, but this turtle man, he's wearing kind of these big robes over both his shell and his body. Kind of knee-length robes with short sleeves. At least it looks like robes because he has such a like massive frame with his shell and all. But he's kind of packing his stuff together and is like picking up a bag and is kind of throwing that over his massive shoulder and then slowly making his way over towards you.
Are we not gonna acknowledge we almost fucking died 6 seconds ago?
Because you almost killed us.
Well,
I
mean, I could have...
You gave up.
No, I was just resting.
I was attempting to kill you, but
So-
I didn't get to you.
What languages does everybody speak?
Common.
Northern.
Well,
Yeah,
all of
we
you.
thought
No,
you
I
said-
want to know what languages all of you know.
Freaking.
They're called Northern Common.
Okay, one at a time. So, Jaxsonian and Northern Common from Storm.
Yeah, Drixonian, yeah. And Northern Common.
Northern, Southern, Celestial,
Thieves can't.
and
Arcanum.
Arcanum, yeah.
Dara?
Northern Common.
Oh, yeah. Fritz? Let's go.
Northern Common.
Just that? Okay, and Dara.
Northern Common, Southern Common, and Undercommon.
Only commons.
So, from a distance, you hear this man kind of like waving, and he just shouts what sounds to you as some sort of greeting. Jaxson.
Fuck!
Always me.
Fuck.
Well, Jaxson knows the most languages, and to some extent the most useful ones as well.
What the flip?
You hear, similar to how you had a conversation with the men from the Three Empires, you hear this man shout a greeting in Arcanon. However, just like the last time, it has a very different, heavily accented way of. He has very like different accent pronouncing this. Which again, it sounds very. It sounds like it is some sort of native accent, just like it did with the brothers from the Three Empires. But he essentially just kind of like waves and says, "Hello, are all of you all right?"
I think so. Or, guys...
Well, you understand him.
Yeah, he's speaking Arcanum.
At
we
this
all
point,
right?
you hear him switch over, this time speaking in Northern Common, but also extremely heavily accented.
Let's go.
All right, well, it seems that you were washed up here, and
Language.
you have a very interesting accent.
You.
You as well.
We are the majority here.
Sorry, I'm not very well-traveled, to be quite honest, but which island are all of you from?
Store cats.
Tremera.
It's a very new island for me.
Have you ever heard of Dawnworld?
No?
Wait, aren't we in the Dawn world?
No.
We should be outside Osaria, right?
I don't know of any of these places that you are talking about.
Why can you speak Northern Common?
Well, I don't know this Northern Common. This is not the common tongue. This is the language of Mediatus.
Oh, no. Oh, what? Oh, what? Tell me more about Mediatus.
Well, it is the central island among the Kanaran Islands.
Have you ever seen someone like me?
Not quite, no.
Someone like the black one over there? Dara.
The grey one.
Well, he's a bit colorblind.
Right.
If
you're asking if I've ever seen an elf, then yes, of course. I've seen many elves.
Have you seen one of those? I point to Jax.
A human? Yeah, there are plenty of those.
Okay.
I won't let that one slide.
You have a bit different color scheme, so to speak, but otherwise, I have seen many a human or elf in my day.
And
So you're not? Are you not from the Carnarvon Isles then?
No.
Well, I think we accidentally went through a portal and got here. We're pretty sure we're from the other side of this sea.
Vortex Sea. Other side of the Vortex Sea.
Wait,
no man has ever crossed that.
How do you guys know that we're...
Because Jaru.
Yeah, he was...
Well, you'd be right about that. Nobody has managed to get past the living vortex in 1,500 years.
Have you ever heard about a druid named Jaru?
No.
No, you have not. He was one like you, a turtle.
Well, there are many of us here.
Well, Jaru is trying to get back to you, and he has not found the place. We found it before him. That's kind of
by accident.
I mean,
we should probably tell him about
It only took like 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, we should definitely tell him about this place later on.
I've heard of people disappearing from Carnara through rifts, but never heard of anyone appearing here.
What?
It's,
Hey, Storm, didn't Yara say that there was a war with water elementals or something?
That'd be correct. It's, been ongoing for, over 1,500 years, as far as I know.
What do they want?
To destroy? I don't know. Pretty much. I mean, this used to be one continent. Now it's 6 islands. Rest of it was sunken. By the living vortex and all that.
Did you capture any fish?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Can I see the fish?
He kind of looks at you a bit confused.
I want to see if this same fish here as...
Well, I caught some bass.
Outside the
I
vortex.
mean, it's just...
Huh?
I caught some bass.
Yeah, that's on the other side as well.
I mean, it's one sea, isn't it?
But
Well,
you have to... What is
think
it that you can't cross? If you can...
Kind of looks out over the ocean. Well, that would be the living vortex. Sinks any ship that braves the seas. Which is why nobody has been able to leave since the last Alder King.
Can't you just go around the vortex?
Well, it's a living creature. Moves around, finds anything that starts making its way out there.
What is it? What type of creature?
Massive thing. 1,000 feet long or so, they say.
Kraken, maybe.
I don't know what one of them is, but it's...
I mean, that's the only thing I know because...
looks like a big sea serpent. That's all I can say, from what I've heard. But I've never seen it myself, and if I'm lucky, I'll never see it
So
either.
if you would kill it, you can open up the way.
Hypothetically, yeah.
there.
But, considering that the Lord Protectors haven't been able to do so in over 1,500 years, it's looking a bit bleak on that front.
Who is the Lord Protectors?
You really aren't from here.
Yes.
Look, how about this? I'll offer you a place. We'll go back to my home. Get you something to eat. You look a bit tired, so you can rest there. It's warmer than out here. You know, autumn's coming and all, so it's getting a bit cold.
Autumn.
Yeah, it's autumn.
So we have autumn back at our place.
Do we?
Yes.
Yes, it's currently autumn in the Dawn world as well.
Oh, okay, nice. Autumn, of course. Lovely with autumn, you know. Hey.
Still quite early, but have you had a breakfast, lunch?
Wait, lunch.
Really?
Did we?
I don't think we did.
I just
Yeah,
had
I
a
caught a
break.
pair of fish and ate it.
We'll get some bass in your stomachs, and that should probably help you liven up a bit. I'll have the wife prepare something once we get there.
What do you pay with? Here, I start walking as well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, coin?
What currency do you use here in Vortex Land?
Karnara. The Karnaran
Here we go.
Isles.
Where is my...
Well, we use regular old coin.
Show me a coin of yours. I have some coin with me, not...
Well, I didn't bring any. I'm just out here fishing. But
Is this the coin you're talking about?
kind of looks at it. What are you holding? What kind of coin are you holding?
A golden coin.
It looks about right. Different print on it, but
You can still use it.
I reckon gold's gold.
Perfect.
It's roughly the same size, at least. Someone is bound to take it.
Karnara. We said Karnara, right?
Yeah, Karnara.
Perfect. Oh, by the way, what's your name?
No,
We haven't introduced ourselves.
easy to forget formalities when it's crazy day. Well, name is Wilfried Tarson Vestalis.
Yeah, Wolfried. Perfect.
And who are all of you?
Well, I'm Dara Raethran.
Captain Storm at your service.
Is it King Storm?
Captain has more of a ring to it.
Don't bother
Jaxson
with the
Gillstar.
Fritz. Wiprecht.
Pleasure meeting all of you. Alright, well, if we start walking, we'll get to the village in half an hour or so.
Oh, Lord. You really was out after those bass.
Well, it's a fishing village, you know, most people are out there fishing. I like to go for a morning walk, get up early about 4 or so to catch some early fish, get the work over with, then I can spend the rest of the day with my family.
Oh, you work as a fisherman?
Yeah. I assume that you kind of start walking at this point.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
just goes over and like picks up the fish that he's caught. You know, it's like 6 or so. Pretty nice fish. Just kind of packages that up and starts walking. Yeah, I'm a fisher by trade. That's right. What about all of you? You see some weapons dangling by some of your sides. You fighting folk?
We are co-workers.
We are the co-workers traveling from Dawnworld here to the Vortex, the Kanara Islands.
We do a little bit of everything, I would say.
All right.
Battled in the great Osarian gauntlet.
Storm, he won't know about any of those things. You can literally...
Well, he knows what a gauntlet is, right?
One of them things you put on your hands if you're a tight
Okay. We fought in a tournament.
There we go, that's a better name.
All right.
Do you fight here? Yeah, except the water elementals?
You mean for fun?
Yeah.
Not really, I mean...
Entertainment.
No, we don't. We're a pretty peaceful people over here, I'd say.
You can't use any weapons?
Can, I mean, of course we can. But,
They do defend themselves against...
I'll put it like this. When you've been in a war for 1,000 years and more, you don't really want to fight when you're having a day off.
Oh, you fight as well?
No, but generally, you know, war is, just thinking about fighting is quite exhausting to most of us. We'll leave all that to the Tide Wardens.
By the way, you stood on the cliff fishing. Couldn't just a water element come up from the water and be like, what's up?
Oh, the tide barrier protects us.
What's the tide barrier?
Well, he kind of points out over the ocean. You see kind of far out, there's kind of this faint... how would I explain that? It's almost like a transparent field of energy that you can see far out over the sea. If you really focus, you can kind of see it over there.
Who made that?
The first Lord Protectors, the founders.
Very much information.
Yeah, we're gonna need a lot of...
The first world protectors.
Lord Protectors.
The first Lord. Okay, so...
If you're gonna learn anything about this, then I'd recommend you learn that, because they're sort of like our gods.
Ah, so what's the second Lord Protectors?
Well, they're just Lord Protectors.
Okay, so you don't have gods?
No, the gods left us many years ago, so we made our own.
Okay, so the first Lord Protectors are just another turtle.
Well, sort of.
Are they a group or something?
5 of them. Here on this island, we mainly worship our first Lord Protector, Fourthwind. You're in Fourthwind's Bay right now, by the way.
Oh, Lord.
You'll get to the others eventually.
Fourthwind's Bay.
Yeah, that's this area.
What does they do? Do they fight the elementals?
Well, the Lord Protectors are essentially the greatest of the Tide Wardens.
What the fuck is a Tide Warden?
They are sort of military people that are out protecting people from elemental attacks. Those small ones that slip through the tide barrier from time to time, or, if somebody's pulled out by strong winds and waves, sometimes your little fishing boat can get washed out past the tide barrier. In that case, Living Vortex spots you or some other elementals. Tide Warden dives in, swims over, and picks you up. There are protectors.
What is a protector?
They keep us safe.
Okay, so Fourthwind is a protector.
He was the first Lord Protector, yeah. Though he was a Tide Warden when he lived, and after he died, he was... he's been dead for 1,500 years.
So why do you talk about him still? Is he your
because
lord now?
yes, the first Lord Protectors gave their lives to create the tide barrier.
They killed themselves to...
No, but they knew that they wouldn't survive the mission. They had to get out there, fight off the living vortex while they placed them out.
Storm,
wait,
kind of have this.
behind that barrier, the freaking Kraken is.
The living vortex is somewhere out there right now, yeah.
So if I swim out to that,
then if you stay there for more than a few seconds, and there's a chance that either some lower, lesser elementals get you first, or if you are a tasty enough snack, could show and just...
Yeah, Fritz would have been eaten the second he came out of that barrier.
Back in the day, they used to swallow entire galley ships and everything.
What happened back in the day? You didn't have the thing then?
No, and the island was, or the continent was sinking underwater and just splitting it up into the islands that we have now.
Didn't the Vortex Man attack?
Well, yeah, but, you know, it mainly just swallowed the coast. At first, it didn't really do much. It's never been a fan of going up on land, but it was more so when the island was sinking, the one united Carnarvon continent, you know. People started making their way off the continent to spread out. You know, there wasn't enough room here anymore. Then suddenly massive sea snake thing comes up out of water and just starts eating the ships. Easy as that. The rest is history. Eventually it started getting a taste for us and made its way up on shore and started swallowing people living near the water. And that's when the tide barrier was necessary.
So this place is worse than Dwarven World.
So this
How could that even
living
happen?
vortex, is it affiliated with the water elementals, or is it...
Oh yeah, it's one of them. Just a massive one, pretty much.
Oh.
So he's in a sea serpent.
Well, it's like a watery... I've never seen it myself. I've heard different things. But mainly it's a sea serpenty thing, long, maybe 1,000 feet or more, made of water that's kind of like the... I don't know. I've never seen a water elemental. It's tricky.
You've never seen a water elemental?
No, I've lived a peaceful life, you know.
We killed 3 of them to get here,
Oh.
I think.
Could be Tide Wardens, then. At this point, Dara. As you're walking there with this man and the other coworkers, you hear a voice in your head. No, you hear the voice of Eli. And he just says, "Are you alive and safe? I found Arisa, and we're wondering if you need any help, perchance. You can reply. Over."
What?
Walkie-talkie.
Okay, so I'm like 90% sure this is a sending spell, so I have to be very careful.
You have 25 words, yes. You see Dara kind of start slowing down, like...
My words. We went through the portal, and now we're stuck beyond the vortex sea. Over.
What? You didn't say we were fine or nothing.
We can use
Or you didn't answer if we needed help.
You don't know what she got, what message she got. You just hear Dara kind of saying, like, "Oh yeah, we went into the portal and..."
Why are you saying this? We already know this.
She's going crazy.
Well,
She's
Finally lost it.
I just shut up. I'm talking with Eli right now.
Ah, how lovely. Say hi from me. Can you also say someone has to take care of Tornado? I think Arisa likes Tornado.
Yeah, unfortunately, it takes some while for him to come back. Well, think of it like throwing it, like writing down a piece on a letter and
Sending a letter.
Yeah.
At this point, you hear a voice again, Eli's voice coming through.
Oh.
And he just says, "Okay, so are you safe then, or do you need any help? Wait, Arisa, no, don't do that!
You fucking...
Well, I think Arisa just went through. Over.
She might be dead. She might not even find the sapphire.
Oh. God, if Arisa dies there, hello.
We are currently fine, but Storm wants you to take care of its pet.
Tornado.
What does Tornado. I don't have an infinite amount of words. Keep it short.
He's flying above the ship probably. Just call on. Tell him to call on Tornado and have a snacky snack. He doesn't like carrots.
Call out Tornado and give him snacks. He does not like carrots. Over.
Alright, I think that was roughly 25 words.
What did he tell you?
Yeah, it's always so hard when you gotta think about, okay, 25 words.
What did he say? Yeah.
Well, he asked if we needed help and if we were safe. I told him we're stuck, but we're safe for the moment.
Yeah, we heard what you said.
And also, Arisa is probably forcing her way through the portal right as we speak.
You see,
Arisa.
Should we like...
You see Wilfred is kind of standing there like, you are an interesting lot, aren't you?
I'm quite offended that Eli chose you to talk to.
Well,
he has a she has a wife over there. You egotistical
narcissist.
Yeah.
Well, I do believe Arisa is very concerned about us, especially me, but all of us.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not you, but the rest of us.
I saved your life. You should be thankful, and she should be wanting me alive.
You saved...
Wait, maybe now you're even with her, Storm.
When was I not even? Oh yeah, right. When I freaking didn't to go for the light sword or anything. Oh, right. I tricked Dara to fight.
So now you can say that you saved her, and you're even. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
So you've been walking up this kind of like hill, you've been walking along this rocky road up a bit of a hill. It's very like barren here. There are like tufts of grass that is starting to turn a bit like brown because of the season. But in general, it's very rocky here in the area, but you kind of look back in the direction that you came from because you've been walking for a little bit now, and you just see from like above the water how this like big fish-like thing just poof, drops down on the shore, kind of where you where you were, and shortly thereafter just turns into a humanoid figure.
Of course.
I thought we were gonna have some peace and quiet.
Well,
no, it's good that we're the more people here. She can help us.
Over here, Arisa. Over here.
She kind of looks around a bit and then sees you and starts waving and kind of makes her way over.
Please forgive me for my what? Arisa here.
Yeah, Storm. Just like first thing you do, say that you saved her.
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay, was she here?
She's still walking.
Is she walking? Oh my god. Okay.
Why is she walking so slowly?
Yeah,
see, she's kind of looking around all like amazed by her surroundings. She kind of stops for a moment and then just picks up a kind of little rock and starts looking at that. Like, just pockets it and then keeps walking.
Let's just continue walking. She will catch up.
At that point, you see again on the shore how something just falls down and lands on the shore.
Great man.
Make a perception check if you want to see.
Yeah, my perception be balling, bro.
2.
mean, it's pretty far away. You can just see it because you're like up on a bit of a hill.
23.
Alright, is anyone else trying to see? Or Dara, I assume?
I do as well, but disadvantage of 7.
Correct.
I think I might need glasses.
Storm, you're pretty sure that it is Eli.
That looks like Eli. What the hell did Eli do? Why is he here? Does he hold my bag? Does he hold Tornado?
He's holding a bag.
I swear to God, this motherfucker, if he doesn't have Tornado.
Run past Arisa like...
Yeah, I'm running past Arisa.
Sure. You start running and you see, you know, Arisa's like, ha! Okay. But you run to Eli and you see how he's kind of like, he's kind of holding his hand. You see he's kind of bleeding. He's all like wet.
What do you do? What the...
This was a stupid idea, wasn't it?
Why did you jump in?
I was thinking someone had to get you back somehow, right?
What has happened to your hand?
Oh, he just moves his other hand and you see this bite mark.
Oh, this tornado.
I hope you didn't drown my lizard.
No, he was quite alive when we came through here, considering that he bit me. You see, like, kind of coughing up some water on the ground next to him. You see Tornado just like...
There we go, you little man.
Damn.
You missed your dad.
Oh yeah.
Great. We gotta go home and eat some. Did you bring my bag, Eli?
Oh, I didn't know that you didn't have it. I took a moment to, you know, wrap my spellbook in water-sealed...
I don't have a bag.
Storm is disappointed.
I am.
Well, if you need something to carry things in, you can use my bag. I mean...
That's nothing like my bag. My bag is magical.
He just puts his bag back on. Alright, so...
Let's go.
Right,
so I say sorry to Eli. Hey, sorry to Eli. Did you feed him, Eli?
Well, I said that I had a snack, but then I didn't have time to get something, so I just grabbed him and started swimming after.
You just... Okay, you don't need to say sorry, he didn't give you snack. That was the tip.
I thought you'd want him, right?
Much obliged, Eli. You very nice. Welcome to the adventure. We are on the other side of the Vortex Sea.
Right.
Now we are going to the town to eat some and rest, because here it is not afternoon, it's
right
before noon.
Well, if we can just find some fancy chalks, I can teleport us back tomorrow.
To the ship.
Well, the closest place would be the Citadel, Arx Oceanum. I memorized the teleportation circle there.
Are they going back to the Citadel?
I can message the captain and tell him to go there.
Do that. Take my hand, Eli. You great man.
He just takes your hand. I think I dislocated my shoulder.
Are you not? I am not a strong man. You see this?
Right, and I am definitely not a strong man.
You don't want to say hi to Fritz then, man.
I have said hi to Fritz many times. He's quite kind.
You don't want to grab his hand and say good dog, you know?
Right, I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll ask him to put my shoulder back in place after this.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Fritz just kind of starts feeling Fritz is a farmer. He's dislocated his shoulders many times. He knows how to pop it back in.
Alright, so eventually as these people have caught up to the rest of the group who I assume didn't walk back, you see Eli just kind of walking there holding his shoulder, which is clearly out of place, and he just looks at you and he's like, hi, could you,
Is he talking to me right
yeah,
It's so fucking awkward.
maybe just put this back,
Oh, did Storm dislocate your shoulder?
Yeah.
Right,
I
now
did
I'll
not do
just...
that. He took my hand.
I just kind of grab his arm, like real firm, and he's like, okay, so on 3, 1, and then I just yank him.
You see Arisa at this point turns, hearing that, and she's like, oh, I could have just healed that. It's like, of course you could. Just kind of fighting back the tears.
Well, it's just dislocated. I mean, hey, you're gonna be fine, by the way, guys. Once the initial pain subsides, it's all good.
You see Wilfred is kind of standing there, just like shoulder or arms crossed, watching all this. It's like, so these are your friends then, I'd imagine.
Co-workers.
Co-workers, all right.
They might be friends, though.
Eli just kind of like half crying. It's like, Eli, my name is Eli. Nice to meet you. And
Have you ever seen one of these, Eli?
He, like, through his tear-filled eyes, he's like, no.
Okay.
Arisa
was he carrying a bag?
Yeah.
Eli?
Yeah.
Like a backpack?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll offer to carry it. So
Yes, please.
His poor shoulder doesn't need to...
Please do.
I'm just like, hey, you want me to...
Yes.
The bag?
Yes.
You're not taking this to Owens.
No.
Yeah, I'll just...
He just gives it to you with his arm that isn't dislocated, or the arm that hasn't just been dislocated.
Yeah.
I'm holding my laughter away, I can't laugh at this, so I need to hold it.
Arisa also introduces herself to Wilfred. He introduces himself to them. It's like, all right, well, let's keep going.
Indeed.
I will say, I think I should just warn you, you're a very interesting lot, and my oldest daughter likes to bother people a bit with questions and such things, so just get ready for that.
Don't worry.
We're gonna bother
Storm is
you with
really
questions,
great
so-
with questions.
Right, well, I assume you'll return the favor then and answer some of hers.
Indeed. She can speak Northern Common as well.
What
Yes, of
was...
course.
You mean this language?
Yes.
Well,
No.
this is the language of our island, Merietas.
And what
The
was
other island.
the other one you talked?
Well, the other one would be Carnarvon Common.
Okay, what is this?
You speak Drixonian?
Yep.
I'm not familiar with that one, to be quite honest.
I speak some Southern Common. Oopsie.
That sounds familiar.
Oopsie.
I speak some rock common.
Again,
What?
not familiar at all.
I speak some Steve's camp.
The language you said hello in.
Well, Carnarvon Common.
Okay, so that's...
That's common.
Yeah, it's the Carnarvon Common.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's the only language everybody speaks on every island.
Amazing.
We're all bilingual here, so to speak.
Ah.
Practical.
Yeah. Oh, well, most of us anyway. Some of the isles don't really have their own native tongue, so to speak. They just use Carnarvon Common in that case.
Do you have a king here?
That would be the Lord Protectors.
Yeah. The Lord... Okay, what's the Lord? How many Lord Protectors are there?
5. There are 5, because one of the 6th island is not part of the Union. They are the Veridentia. They are independent.
So how many Protectors do they have?
They have a council, I think. Not really familiar with them. Isolationist, supremacist, elven people.
Racists?
Well, yeah, they believe in elven supremacy. Which is why they distance themselves from the rest of us.
From the turtles?
Among others.
Do you like them?
Never met anyone from the Veridentia, because they never leave and they don't really... We don't travel that far.
You just walk half an hour to fish. How it is for...
Well, yeah, but it's very expensive to travel between the islands, so...
How many golds?
I believe when me and the wife and the kids moved here, we paid, we had to save up for a while. Luckily, she had a wealthy family, but I believe it's 2 gold pieces per mile.
That doesn't sound that bad.
Per mile? Jesus.
Well, it's quite far between the islands, so... Yeah, it's you pay several hundred gold for passage, essentially.
Swim? You look like a...
Well, if you want to cross the tide barrier...
Oh, you're right.
It doesn't go around the entire archipelago, it goes around each and every island independently. You can... there is an exception. You can cross here from Mediatus to Macanamentum, our neighboring island, via a series of bridges across a group of islands. It's a difficult trek, but it can be done.
How do you get past the Vortex Man then?
Well, because then you're going over land, essentially.
Yeah, but to the other islands.
Well, you fly.
How the hell do you... how
Do you have like flying ship?
Yeah, airships.
We gotta try one of those.
How much do one of those cost?
You mean to buy one? They're property of the Lord Protectors, but... Or the Veridentia, they have a handful too. I believe there are only 50 or so ever that have been made.
If we kill the Vortex Man, can we get one of those? We ask the Lord Protectors.
If you somehow manage to defeat the living vortex, I'm certain that there's nothing that would be sufficient to reward you with. So yes, an airship would likely be the smallest thing that you could be repaid with.
We're killing the Vortex Man, lads. Co-workers, you ready for this?
Whoa. Let's take it easy. We barely know what that thing is.
Can you believe being a captain of the sky? Cocaine doesn't match that. If I come back to Dawnward, flying, friggin' nuke.
Well, they
friggin' Clarice cackling no more.
I mean,
you can't really get very far with them. That's the main flaw, really. Wow. They're fuel hungry, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we would have flown out of there a long time ago, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, no shite.
Do you know if we can buy any expensive shulks in the town?
Well, I just live in a small little village, but I reckon I'll take you to Sternhold. That's a city not far from here. I can investigate that. Can take you there tomorrow.
Look. Is that the city?
He looks over. This one little hut.
The city.
Oh no, that's Old Man Pete who lives there.
Oh, is he a tortoise as well?
No, he's a human.
What the fuck? Yeah, is Pete a nice man, lad?
Doesn't speak much, but I've gone fishing with him a few times. It's good company. Stand there silently next to each other, just enjoying the seas and the fish.
Just to be clear, what other races do live around here except for you humans and elves?
Well, there are quite a few of us, or quite a few different types of people around. You have, on Mediatus, this island, that is, it's mainly humans. If you go northeast to Aviarius, you'll find bird folk. I believe they call themselves Zarakokra and Kenku. You go down south to Olnius, and that's where you'll find elves. You'll find more elves even further south in the Veridentia. If you go northeast, that's where I'm from Aquatilium. That's where me and the wife is from. So the Turtles, my people, and the Tritons, her people, are from there.
What is a Triton?
Well, I guess you're about to find out when you meet my wife.
Oh my god. What
Have I seen one?
If you have seen one?
Yeah,
I should have.
seen one as well.
No, that's sea elves.
Yeah, you've seen sea elves, but Tritons are
sea elves,
different.
right.
And then, of course, to the west in Machinamentum, you have the gnomes and some halflings. Of course, you know, people are spread out across the isles. You know, this is the human island that we're on now, and I'm here, and my wife is here, and the kids are here. None of us are humans.
Oh.
So your kids is half Triton, half Tort.
No, I adopted them. They're
Oh,
Tritons.
thank God.
He kind of looks at you a bit confused.
Jack?
No offense here, but it's just like I don't know how that would work, you know.
Stop talking, Jaxson.
I've seen a few half Triton, half Turtles. Mainly Tritons with shells on their backs.
Yeah, what are you, Jax?
I'm a human.
Human with a human? What the
Whoa, yeah. Wow, that's so weird. Oh my God.
Yes, clearly you only go with another race, of course.
So, is race biology something you like discussing in wherever you're from? Because we never touch on that topic at all.
No, it wasn't meant to any offense. It's just like
They
I don't
do
know.
He's never
this
seen a
sometimes.
tortoise. He's never seen a Triton.
I have seen a tortoise.
You haven't even seen a Triton. How would
No,
you?
no, a triton, but a tortoise.
Yeah, but you haven't ever seen a Triton. So how can you assume how a Triton tortoise child looks like? Huh?
No, but I meant like I assume they didn't have shells.
Why are they named Triton?
Why are humans called humans?
Because
Yeah,
lizard folk is called lizard folk because I'm a goddamn lizard. Right?
Well, I'd assume that you are not an actual lizard.
To be fair, I had heard that
Store just
some
because you
just refer to them as lizard.
I'm a lizard, goddammit.
God damn.
Yeah, you are.
Is that the town?
Huh?
Is that the town we're going to?
Oh yeah, we're coming up on the village here.
Let's go.
So he kind of keeps walking, you know. You see some people just sitting outside, like, the first house, and they look at him, and they're like, they pretty much wave and smile and just say, like, "Hi, Wilfred! Who are these lot? It's like, I'll explain some other day. Don't worry about it. They keep walking, you know.
Don't stop with the gestures.
I gotta show off, man.
You're supposed to be a co-king. Act like one.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to take the responsibility.
Exactly.
He is.
Crap.
I can do whatever I like.
So, as you're walking through this little village, the houses are pretty sparse. There's a lot of ground between them. But you come upon this this one kind of... All these houses are just made of this kind of darker wood, timber. Just very simple, very basic, simple houses. Just like a slight stone foundation and then timber. But you see outside one of these houses, there are two kids that are playing. One of them is probably, both are girls. One is probably around 13, the other one maybe 10 or so. They both have quite vibrant blue skin and black curly hair. The older one of the two... let me just get this. So the older one of the two, as they both kind of see the group coming with Wilfred in charge, they kind of run up to him. The younger one is kind of like "Papa" as they as they approach. But you see, the older one has kind of like these piercing green eyes, and the younger one has yellow eyes, completely just like one color, with just a faint kind of darker center. I mean, it's kind of like Dara just has. Dara has single-colored eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not rare in the Dawn world.
Just like real life.
Yeah, of course.
Just can't handle. That's. Okay, yeah.
I'm so glad Storm doesn't have the bag of beholding with him, so he doesn't like.
Oh!
You see, the older one kind of has this this belt around her tunic, where there's this wooden sword that is sheathed in the belt, and the younger one is just kind of like wearing more of a normal dress and this like flower wreath around her head. But they both run up, and Wilfred kind of kneels down and hugs them both as they come running up to him. And he's like, yeah. So, kids. And he kind of turns around to you. The younger one kind of hides a bit behind him. The older one looks at you and is a bit confused.
I hide behind Jax.
You see, as you're closer, they have these like webbed fingers and toes, kind of like, you know, like amphibian creatures, you know, where you have the like swimming skin thing
like
between
the
yeah. But you see, he kind of puts a hand on each of their shoulders and says, "Kids, I met these people, adventurers," and he turns to the older one, and she kind of instantly smiles a bit more, just lights up. Well, co-workers, was that what you called yourselves?
Yeah.
That's right.
Right, well, these are my two daughters, Arethusa, and he kind of gestures at the older one, and Florentia, and he gestures at the younger one. Florentia, dear, would you go run and get your mother? And she just kind of nods and then looks nervously at you and then runs off towards the house. This is my house right over there. Hopefully my wife will be out here soon. The Arethusa, the older daughter that is still
Sounds
there.
like she's gonna turn me to stone.
She looks at all of you like eagerly and just says like, Are you all really adventurers?
Of course!
That's correct.
Just standing there in my armor and my weapons.
Exactly. We look
Eli
crazy.
crying and holding his arm. It's like,
Clearly destroying the mood. Oh,
That's awesome.
Adventures from the other side of the world.
She looks at Wilfred. Where did you find them? They just washed up on shore. And the door opens to the house, and you see another woman with bluish skin, much like the two girls, only significantly older. She looks, in terms of like human age, she would be looking like she was like 35-ish, though you're not sure how long Tritons live, so...
Do they look slimy?
No.
Okay, nice.
how old-ish is the turtle man, by the looks of it?
He looks like a turtle.
I'm not certain how good you are at estimating the age of turtles. Make a nature check.
On the farm, there's kinda plenty of
Well, nat 20.
Oh.
Well, if you didn't know, Jacob, I was on that turtle farm.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. How could I
You
forget?
can see all the wrinkles.
Okay, with a natural 20, you kind of like estimate based on, just weathering of the skin and all that. It is difficult to say, but you would guess that he's probably around the same stage in his life as his wife. So, like, if he was a human, that would be like 35. But again, you don't know how long a turtle would live, so it's, difficult to say. Well, alright, he kind of waves at his wife, who's approaching, looking kind of sternly at the group of you, a bit confused about, like, okay, who are these people my husband has dragged in here? But he just, like, waves her over. Cadelia! My love! And he hugs her and gives her a kiss. These people are in need of a place to stay for a day or so. And she looks at all of you and looks back to him. Really? Yes. He leans in a bit closer. They are apparently from the other side of the Vortex Sea. She kind of crosses her arms, leans back a little bit, again just says, really? And then looks to all of you. Is that true?
You can trust us, indeed.
Why would we lie about something like that?
Dawnworld, we are from. I am a lizard. Have you ever seen a lizard before? I do not think so.
I think lizards are quite common.
Well, that talk, I don't.
Oh yeah, right.
Common.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you do sound like foreigners. And I suppose you look the part as well.
Anything we can help with at home, we are here for it. Arisa can cook. I can kill.
Yeah, I can kill.
Yeah, Jaxson can do that as well.
Fritz can do it as well.
Fritz can do.
Dara can.
Manipulate things and miss whole lot of things.
You see
Eli
Arethusa.
likes to read.
You see Arethusa, the daughter, kind of like looks up at her mother and says, "They're adventurers, Mama." It's like, great. Well, I suppose we will be having some lunch, so...
Lunch? Right now?
Well, it is.
Well...
Yeah, I feel like lunch.
Yeah, I'm quite hungry.
My husband works early mornings, as you've probably been able to tell, so it's more or less lunchtime for him.
Oh, for him, yeah.
Well, it's
And we eat
There's like
together
a-
here, so...
there's a little time distortion thingy coming here, so it's probably around that time for us as well.
Alright, well... Feel free to come inside. It'll probably be a bit cramped, but those of you that feel capable to lift things, you can go grab some crates from out back. We'll probably need some more place for you to sit, so that should do it.
Thanks, Fritz. You got this.
Yeah, Fritz starts walking.
So,
And if anyone, you said that somebody could cook.
Arisa, you got that, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm
Alright, well, feel free to help me out. And the rest of you just, get comfortable, I suppose.
Oh, thank you.
They show you inside. Wilfred is kind of glad to show everything. He's like, we sleep over there. This is where we'll be sitting. So, you lads just put the crates over there. That should do it. And he just seems very enthusiastic. He's like, oh, this net over here. Caught my first tuna with that. Yeah, just kind of shows up the things that he has. Very welcoming and glad to have some good company.
Nice.
He's flexing on us.
Yeah, he's flexing with this like
Weird
fishing
flex, but
baits
okay,
and things.
Casually flexing with us.
whoa.
Hey, it's very important to flex with your tuna net.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, none of us got that. It's a big deal.
I got Damascus Hag though, so get shit on Wilfred.
But can Damascus Hag beat it? Can Damascus Hag catch tuna? Didn't think so.
I can just imagine Storm showing that to the kids, like, this is Damascus.
Actually, as Storm,
Like animated.
Storm, you kind of just like sit down, you know, like you're right now, just hands behind your head and just relaxing, and then you feel kind of like something is touching Damascus Hag, and you like look over and you see Arethusa, the older daughter, is kind of like just gently touching the handle of it, and just pulls back when you look over at her.
It never gets dull.
Sorry, I was just curious.
No problem. This sword was crafted in the abyss, hell, by some demon, and now I am holding it, using it to slay the foes.
I have no idea what any of that is, but it sounds amazing.
Yes, abyss.
It's like,
You don't know what hell is?
No.
It's a place with fire.
You probably don't.
You
need to
know what a
it
demon is. Come on.
No. Is it like the elementals?
it's like a nightmare.
Yes, like a place with instead of a water elemental, think of a fire elemental.
Oh yeah, we have some of those.
Where do you have those?
Well, there are some in the city.
Are they attacking you?
No. Wilfred says that they work with our people.
No?
Yeah, to fight off the water ones.
Do you know any stone elementals?
Yeah, they are in the mountains, or used to be. I think the Lord Protectors got rid of them a long time ago, though.
What?
It's just the water ones left. And the fire ones, but they're good. And the air ones, too. They work with us as well.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, maybe they are the ones flying the ship.
They make things fly, I've heard that.
Well, what
This
do you
place
know?
is cool.
Ah,
Well, Storm, you haven't shown her tornado yet.
You see,
Oh, yeah.
you see, by the way, she pulls out her wooden sword and she's like, I just have
Where did-
this.
Yeah, where did you get that?
Wilfred made it for me.
That's an epic story as well. Have you slain any foes with it yet?
I fought a tree once.
Good job. Did you win?
Yeah.
High five.
clean record, come on.
Damn.
I just imagine a fallen tree when she like, ah!
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a flying lizard before?
No.
Well, you're about to. I'm sorry, Tornado, but here we go. Whoosh! Wow! I'm flying! Put your hands out. I drag Tornado close to my face. Do not bite this innocent.
Oh no.
Do not bite anyone today. You have already bitten poor Eli over there. You see, his hand is still bleeding, and he looks.
You see,
ever.
Eli's like torn off part of his sleeve and like bandaged up his hand.
If you don't bite, you will get a whole fish for yourself. Understand that?
He just nods slightly.
Put Tornado in her hands.
Hi, little lizard.
If you feed him, he will be your friend forever.
Mama, can I have some fish?
She just looks over, sees the lizard in her hands.
So you should be careful with that. But he said not to bite me, so... And he will be my friend if I feed him.
Tornado is like, yes, I approve this message.
See, you see Cordelia kind of looks over at you, Storm.
Does he eat discarded parts of fish?
He eats anything but carrots.
See, he kind of gets like the back fin of one of the bass fishes that the Wilfred brought home that day and just hands it over to Arthuso, gives it to Tornado, kind of looks at it, kind of carefully takes it.
Was that a burp or puke?
A bit of both.
Friends forever.
Awesome.
At that point, he just kind of flies back to you. She gets a bit startled for a second, but is just so aghast by all this.
Tornado, you gotta work on your social skills. Bite Arisa, bite the page. You cost me so much money.
But you still love him.
You see, he kind of looks over at Arisa at that point.
Oh.
Storm, don't make him eat Arisa.
After a little while, the food is finished and it's kind of placed on this mix of table and crates, and you all can gather around it. It is very cramped still. I mean, it's a small house and the table is smaller. So you're all kind of sitting very much like shoulder to shoulder. See, like, Wilfred kind of sits there with Florentia, the younger of the daughters, in his lap. She's kind of like hiding her face a bit, not really wanting to look at all of you, a bit like shy. Whereas Arethusa is just like squeezing herself in between Storm and whoever he's sitting next to, and just keeps on like pestering all of you with questions.
Jaxson, please be Jaxson, please be Jaxson.
Well, who would sit next to Storm?
Of course.
Set it all.
Two people, one on each side. Who's sitting next to Storm?
Eli.
Jaxson and Eli, I guess.
Okay, then she would squeeze in between Jaxson and Storm. And just keeps bugging you with a bunch of questions.
Eli is busy with crying.
I mean, he's mostly fine. Like, Arisa has kind of fixed him up a little extra, just giving him a little boost to not feel as much pain. His eyes are a bit red, though. But he keeps kind of quiet. Seems very anxious, you know. He has kind of this restless leg that is constantly like bouncing up and down. Quite annoying to sit next to him. But you know, he's a bit out of water, so to speak. Fish out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
answer all the questions. Unfiltered, of course.
Right. And at times you can kind of see Cadelia just looking over at you, just giving you a kind of like, she's not that old kind of
like,
look, you know.
Fuck that. Oh. Can I...
They don't seem to react necessarily to profanity, but it's more like if you get into like super gory things where you're like, we slash his gut open
and this Bolgura mask I made I can't.
It's like, yeah, and that's when Fritz shoved like spear up this guy's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that's too far.
And then Storm smited some orc way back when. Poor innocent orc.
Yeah, it was this poor guy, you know, but he was kind of angry, so we just killed him in front of a bunch of people.
And Dara threw out a lot of coin so that people started fighting each other.
Eventually, you know, Arethusa just kind of says like,
you're kind of like Tide Wardens, but just like not as good. Like not really good guys, you know?
Oh, you mean that? Well,
yeah, that can probably be a good summary of us.
no, we're still searching for the thing that motivates us the most. And yet, we have not found it.
Well,
So
I want to be a Tide Warden when I grow up.
and you see both Cadelia and Wilfred kind of like look over at her and with like a kind of sigh and a look, and she just looks back at them and she's like,
What? I'm going to be one, you know that.
and Cadelia is like, just kind of looks at her with a stern look and says like,
Arethusa, no, it's too dangerous.
and she just stares back at her mother and she's like crosses her arms, leans back a bit, still squeezed in between the bunch of you. She's like,
So? I mean, you know, father was one.
and
Ooh,
you know,
quiet.
she kind of like, Cadelia just kind of looks, closes her eyes a bit and then just looks at her and says, and that's exactly why I don't want you to be one, because you know what happened to him. She just kind of like looks a bit angry.
It's like, yeah, but at least his death meant something. I mean, everybody dies at some point. And I don't want to...
Everybody gets a bit confused at that.
You died?
That was a long time ago.
Well,
Not that long time ago.
I've actually died too.
3 of us has cheated
And
death.
Dora's like, yay!
Arisa and I is the only 2 that hasn't cheated.
You see, Eli is like,
Well, I haven't died either,
Right,
and I'm
you're
quite
hurt.
happy about that.
Well,
People can be brought
Yeah.
back from death?
Yeah.
yes, they can.
But
But it's hard. Very, very hard.
unless you have a stone, a destiny stone, then it's easy.
Don't
Jax, show him. Or you don't have it here. You do.
I always have it on me.
Destiny stone.
This will let me cheat death. Dara doesn't have one because she died and it shattered. Like, I mean, Storm has ours.
the atmosphere gets very weird here at this point. Like, there's
have you
a
heard that?
mix of just confusion and like worlds being turned upside down. Like, these people have apparently never heard of such a thing.
Sure, you
Have
don't have
you heard
magic
about the
or
Blue Day
something?
Sapphire?
Okay, one at a time, please.
What did you say, Jax?
Do you not have magic here or something?
Wilfred kind of answers and says, well, yes, we have magic, but I've never heard of anyone being brought back from death.
Alright, you don't have divine magic.
Well, we do, but
Yeah. Then it should work.
it's a bit limited, I suppose.
Dara, show him some stuff. Let's see some magic, eh?
I mean, they have seen magic.
Well, if you say so, I'll just use a minor illusion of like a small, like let's make it a blue cloudy smoke somewhere and just pop it away.
Oh.
You see, when you do that, even the younger of the daughters kind of like looks at it and is all amazed. But then she goes back to being shy and just like doesn't want to. Like as soon as there's some eye contact going on, she kind of like turns away and doesn't want to keep looking.
Well, cheers to Canora and to freaking Wilfred who found us on shore, and much obliged for us eating here at your house.
Well, I'll drink to that. Kind of raises his cup. Everybody just gets their tankards up and slams them together.
Shattering the table.
Well, since we're already sort of on the topic, we should probably go tomorrow to Sternold, the city. Arethusa at this point jumps in and is like, can I come with? Like, all right, sure. Well, actually, you know, and before he even gets any further, Arethusa just jumps in again and is like, wait, can we go see Aunt Henley? Well, that's sort of why we're going there.
What?
Tide Warden Henley might be able to help all of you with your situation, or at the very least, yes, she is the Tide Warden that sort of rules over Sternold. The Tide Wardens, when they're not out saving people, also function as local government sort of officials. I should clarify as well that Tide Warden Henley is not this young lady's aunt. It's just that Arethusa here likes to get all friendly with all kinds of people. Anyway, yes, I was thinking that if we're gonna get you guys back to your home, the Tide Warden would probably be the go-to to ask for help.
Well, that sounds like a very good advice, too.
Sounds a plan, indeed.
Right. Well, you know, I don't really know what else I can entertain all of you with here. It's just,
I like the tuna net.
It's just what you can see. Well, we can go back out and I can show you how to use it.
Okay, let's go.
Wow.
I'm on for some fishing. We can capture some for tomorrow. Breakfast, you know.
Sure, sounds good. I mean, if we're going to the city, Cordelia, we have enough food stored up, right? She's like,
How
yeah,
long
we
does
do.
it take us to go to the city?
It's a day, really, or so.
Oh my.
So, but if we get going early tomorrow, we'll be there before sunset.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's we'll stay the night there, and then in the morning after, you can go to the Tide Warden.
Yeah.
Speak with her, then hopefully she can get you the help you need. But there's pretty much a full day left before we depart, so make yourselves at home.
Some tuna.
And the rest of you, if you don't want to go fishing, you can relax here. You know, I'm certain.
I'm quite exhausted.
If you want to sleep, you can use our bed. Otherwise, we'll get you some, Cordelia, and she just nods. I'll, run around and ask the neighbors for, some, blankets if you want any. That way you should at least be a little more comfortable, since not everybody can fit in the beds.
Well, I don't need a bed, so I'll be fine.
Great. Well, do you still want a blanket?
I'll manage without one.
All right.
I'll do just fine with that one, too.
Yeah, I'm used to rough spots as well.
I
want the blanket.
Yeah, I can take a blanket too.
I was just expecting Jaxson to be like, yeah, I want 3 blankets and 2 mattresses.
Well, feel free to...
Beds are the finest.
Arisa, you cooking like shit.
There are 2 beds in here, 2 kind of double beds. Save space.
Mm-hmm.
Well, feel free to take any of the beds if you're gonna sleep now. Otherwise, if you're gonna do something more normal and sleep at night, then you'll probably need to just get some of the chairs or lie down on the floor somewhere. Just anywhere is fine by fine by me. Yeah. Anyway, let's go catch some tuna, shall we? Does anyone else want to go with Wilfred and Storm?
I just want to ask, if there's anything else, any work that needs to be done, heavy lifting, farm work, etc.
Well, I reckon if Wilfred is going to the city, you might as well bring some of our spare fish to sell. So maybe if you could, see the barrel over there, and she kind of points at a barrel outside the house through a window. If you could load that onto the little cart out there, that would be nice. But other than that, I don't know if we really have much that is in need of doing, to be honest. Things have been quite calm around here lately. Not much to fix or anything. But I appreciate the offer.
Right, yeah. I'm happy to help.
Right.
I'll just unload the thing already.
Yeah. You just kind of go do as she said.
I would take off my armor as well.
Right. Are any of you going to go to sleep, or are you gonna stay awake until the night?
Stay awake, because I don't want... Yeah. Will we get second level exhaustion?
No, not unless you push it even further. But if you go to bed a bit early, that's fine.
Yeah. I feel like at least around evening, that's where we want to go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, judging by Wilfred's sleep schedule, it's probably a good thing to go to bed a bit early if he wants to get going at 4 or something like that.
Well, Dara has only 4 hours of sleep. Yeah.
I don't have my book. No, fuck you.
Neither does Dara.
Okay, so nobody goes to sleep yet.
No.
Well, in that case, you're gonna have a few more hours of Arethusa bothering you with more questions about adventures, and she's gonna ask to try on some of your armor, Jaxson, as you take it off.
Breaks all of it.
Just swallows.
I would probably say, unless her mother notices, I wouldn't filter what I say. I'm just
right.
Yeah, say normally, I guess.
Yeah, you see Cadelia's kind of over in a corner, just kind of fixing an old fish net that has a big tear in it. But other than that, it's
Oh yeah, just because, so I don't forget about this, because I feel like Florp has suffered enough, I'm just gonna dismiss him from the
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you're suffering.
You're like, wait a moment. He's probably still out there. Ah, poor thing. You just snap.
I would show her some magic as well.
I just feel like Scorp is like, any second now, she's going to dismiss me. 6 hours later.
He's just been drowning, experiencing like the feeling of drowning for an hour and a half or something like that.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I think if there's nothing else that anyone really wants to do, we're gonna go for a break here. So I think this is a good place to take a break, and then when we get back, you know, we can pretty much fast forward the day, unless there is something in particular that you want to talk about with any of these fine people, your hosts.
I could show the kids my glowing super.
I don't think, like, I know that we're really bad with keeping track of the charges of that thing, but I'm gonna say you've used it way too many times in the past day or whatever.
Fine. I'll just give her some of my magic so she'll become a super soldier so she can just fly around or something.
Oh, you're gonna give her flying?
Nah, that's too dangerous.
Oh my god, just sends her off, she goes flying and just crashes and dies.
I don't give someone that power to a child, dude.
Alright, well, we'll go to a break now anyway. And we'll be back soon.
Yes.
So we'll be back. And we are live again. Hello. Short break, am I right? Oh wow, what is this? A miracle? It was like less than 20 minutes of a break. Hasn't happened in like a year and a half.
Wow.
But hello, and welcome back.
The perk of starting late.
Yeah, kind of don't have an option. I mean, it's sort of 11:30 here, so...
midnight in 23 minutes. No.
33. Oh my god, yeah. Got it. Heard that loud and clear, bro.
Yeah, man.
Last thing I ever heard. Okay, so before the break we said that we were just gonna fast forward unless there's anything more that you want to do this day. So unless you thought about something that you want to do during the break, we're just gonna say that you spend the rest of the day entertaining Arethusa's question and Storm being out and fishing.
Yeah.
Make a survival check, Storm.
Disadvantage.
Survival.
Yeah, because you're fishing.
Falls into the water.
No, it's a fishing thing.
Okay, let's do it. Natural 20, boy.
Did you do it on disadvantage though?
Oh.
True, nice catch, because you're exhausted.
Luck.
Do you have any luck left?
I got a 20 and I got a 1, but now I got the 17.
17.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, you catch some more fish. You're pretty lucky. I mean, he rolled pretty decently as well, so, you know, you get some extra fish, and Wilfred is happy about that. He's kind of gives you a pat on the shoulder on the way back and just says, you know, I wouldn't mind going out fishing with you again sometime. If you're deciding to stick around, that is.
See what happens tomorrow, or...
I understand.
The day after that.
Yeah.
It was fun indeed.
You know, you'd make for a good fisherman. Just wanted to say that.
Much obliged.
Alright, so, eventually nightfall comes, and you, have to find some places to sleep. Dara, I'd imagine you just take, like, a crate in a corner and just sit there.
Yeah.
The rest of you, you know, how do you solve your sleeping situation? They have, like, a few extra blankets for those that asked for it.
Okay. So I will teach Arethusa dragon chess and play with her. I mean, until like we sleep.
You You realize that quite quickly that she's not really patient enough for that. She seems to be a bit too, like, not quite hyperactive, but she's more of like, she'd rather go out running around in circles in the outside the house than she would sit down and do that.
Dang it.
You do see, though, as you try to teach her, what's your passive perception? -5, technically, because you're exhausted.
6.
You can make a perception check real quick. On disadvantage.
I know. I got 1 natural 20. Fuck me.
And the other?
No, how it feels.
Yeah, but also my second roll. So 13.
13?
Yeah.
You notice that Florentia is kind of looking over, kind of curious when she thinks that you don't see her. It's kind of like looking at this dragon chess thing. Do you have your chess with you?
Oh, right. Fuck, I don't even have that.
At all times.
My bag is gone. I don't even have that shit. Oh, fuck.
You can get some like pebbles and just like try to explain it. That's what you're
So
doing.
you can use like a stick in the mud and just like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like while you're explaining, Arethusa just keeps asking like questions about like, so what's the biggest thing you've ever killed? Just like distracting you with a bunch of questions. But yeah.
Maybe she's a gigabrain.
Yeah.
She's winning by distracting you.
She hasn't even had the game explained yet, and she's already starting with the tactics.
Well, hey, because she already knows it, baby. She just pretends it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's to be Giga Chan.
I would try to explain it to her sister, but if she's like, just runs away.
I mean, you can
Doesn't
try
wanna-
to approach
Yeah,
her.
I would try, but if she doesn't want to, I would just give up on it.
Okay, so what do? You just walk up to her and say what?
Like, if she wants to try as well, because I notice her do it, I guess.
Play with me. I don't have anyone else to play.
Make a persuasion check
Disadvantage, let's go.
with your ultimate charisma.
Disadvantage.
Nope. Persuasion. Oh well, it's I have +2 on it, so fuck you guys. 7. I don't know.
Wow.
It seems like she wants to say yes, but she can't really like bring herself to it, so she just kind of like looks down, kind of glances up at you for a second, and then just doesn't really say anything. She just like stands there awkwardly, not knowing.
I'll teach you anyway.
Okay, so you just like sit down next to her and you just start drawing this board on the
Oh,
ground.
hey, that might make her feel more comfortable.
I mean, she didn't like. She wanted to say yes. You said that at least, like you said. She didn't say yes, so I will be nice and teach her anyways.
All right. Meanwhile, Arethusa will go in and bother Fritz instead, or something like that,
Yeah,
because the chess thing was
of
poor.
course.
Oh, the giant elk.
But yeah, you just sit with Florentia a little while and try to like teach her, and she seems to like listen, but she doesn't speak really. She doesn't say anything to you. But yeah,
And then I will go no mercy when we play.
she doesn't ever really play with you. She's
Yeah, okay.
just like listening to all of it and seems very eager to understand it, but you didn't quite manage to convince her to open up enough to
I really
play
want to
with
crush
you.
her.
in before she's some giga brain that just completely curb stomps you.
Yeah,
You play for her, so you can.
First game.
I also like Jackson's approach. Just like, oh, hi, kid. I'm just gonna teach you this game so I can destroy you once you understand it. He approaches them nice and friendly, just like, hey, kids. And then just...
Let me crush you.
Yeah, and then just steals all their will to live.
Steals their souls.
What's wrong with that? Come on, like, who doesn't want to crush kids?
Destroy them. Alright, well, anyway, you eventually go to sleep. You sleep on the floors mainly. Those of you that asked for blankets got them, as I said. And Storm, you just kind of like overhear Wilfred just kind of like whispers to Cadelia, his wife, like, maybe we should just give them the bed instead. And she's like, honey,
I will divorce you.
all right,
You do
all
this.
right. But yeah, they still take the bed.
Yeah, of course. We be chilling
but
on the rock
yeah,
places. Fritz and I are kind of used to shit.
true.
I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
You see Jaxson like turning around, trying to like find a good angle to sleep. Like he tries the side, then the back, then like the stomach, everything.
Yeah. He can't get any sleep whatsoever.
How's it going?
Do I have a spell for this? Oh fuck! No, I can't. Wait.
This is the best. Than in the water.
So wait, I just need to check a condition right now.
What is going on?
Oh yeah. Can you make let me see what. Can you make wisdom saving throw?
Them saying so.
Come here, please. Just
Wisdom saying, huh?
On disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Luck, just in case.
How many lucks have you burned through? Because you still haven't taken a rest. Remember that. I'm pretty sure you don't have any luck left. Like this is the same day that you went through the entire citadel and everything.
I can't use it anyways. Yeah. I don't use. It was still 17.
Oh yeah, it's enough. Fuck. I will try it again.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now it's. Yeah. 8.
You're paralyzed. So you can't speak. I will try to fall asleep.
Storm, you're about to say something and then you feel your mouth just like
Oh my god.
like your jaw just locks. You can feel like you're starting to drool a little bit. It's like
That's awful.
can't swallow the drool.
Every 6 seconds you can re-roll your save.
6 seconds.
On disadvantage every time, of course.
7.
Nope.
6 seconds.
I will try to fall asleep.
9. 6 seconds. That's a 14.
Nope.
Are you remembering your disadvantage?
Yes.
Cool.
That's a 12. 6 seconds. That's a 1. 6 seconds. That's a 14. 6 seconds. That's a 17.
Yeah, you're no longer paralyzed.
So like 40 something seconds later, you can finally close your mouth. It's like all dried up now and like drool is all down your like cheek.
Sleepy time.
Revenge is coming, you little scumbag.
As you say that, you hear coming from the bed where the girls sleep, you hear Arethusa's voice. Vengeance for what?
Nothing. Go to sleep. You have a long day tomorrow.
Are you going to kill a monster?
We are not going to run into a monster probably tomorrow, eh?
Wow.
Wow, we're not gonna run into.
No, she didn't hear that. She heard. She's just like thinking about monsters
You're a
now.
monster. Oh.
Yeah.
Man, if we only had the bag of holdings, we could show her all the monsters we've killed.
All right. Well, you all finally get some rest. You do notice that Eli is pretty much as uncomfortable as Jaxson is, trying to like find a good way to sleep. Though he is an elf, so you know he's not struggling quite as much because he can't sit up. It's just very uncomfortable for him as well.
Fritz just fall asleep. So
Yeah.
Any middle-aged dad would anywhere, just like 2 seconds. Gone.
Anyway, the morning comes, and you all wake up. You see that Wilfred is already kind of up. The kids are sleeping. Cordelia is also sleeping. Dara, you would have been awake for a while, unless you wanted to take a full 8 hours just to like really get some good rest,
Why not?
Because you can still do it. It's just
I
you
can.
don't have to.
I'll do it just to mock everyone else who has to do it.
And Fritz, you can also take your full 8 hours. You don't have to do the 6-hour thing. So you all get a real nice long rest, long sleep. Jaxson, you're uncomfortable, but it's good to get some sleep. Wilfred just kind of like gets all of you, then it's like, how about all of you just wait outside? Wait outside. I'll just wake up the kids and the wife and say goodbye to them. Oh well, Arethusa is coming with us, and then we'll get going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
So you head outside, and a little while later, door almost slams open, and Arethusa comes like skipping out with her wooden sword in her belt, ready to go.
I don't even have to teach.
I'm putting my armor on as well.
Yep. And Wilfred is he kind of has a backpack and this little cart thingy that with some fish to bring. It's like, let's get going. The fresh air of an early morning. Nothing beats it. All right. Anyone that wants to do anything? Have you, cleared out your systems?
Yeah.
It's pretty clear now.
Right. No. And he kind of like takes his bag and just pulls out this little scroll of parchment and just like reaches it out. I thought I remembered having this. It's a map of the island, if anybody wants it.
Well, we wouldn't mind having one of those.
Dara is best with that.
All right. So let me just let me send this to you. And there you have the map of the island.
Oh, it's a... Oh.
So,
Wait, I need to compare. It's basically the same.
You mean the one I sent you earlier? I realized that it actually looked eerily similar. It wasn't intentional. I just did a random shape in a paint document. For context, Marcus wanted me to send him a sneak peek of wherever they were going, and I just drew a random shape on paint and wrote like city and town.
City.
And it kind of is that same shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just hands you the map. You look at it for a moment and just, yeah, there it is in our group chat.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the retexture as well.
Yeah.
I'm just for the sake of it, I'm gonna send you this one as well, so you know the size of this place with the grid above it. Just in case you want to know how far everything is. Mediatus.
Okay, so we head out.
Yeah. You start walking Arethusa is super energetic and just like skips forward. Eli is kind of looking a bit stiff, you know, after a rough night of meditation on a crate. And Jaxson is probably also a bit stiff. But you eventually get a bit warmed up from the walking, and whatever back or neck pains that you may have acquired over the night just go away relatively quickly. But you make your way on this rocky road, further inwards towards land. You can see some mountains off in the distance as well, which is, according to the map, where you are headed for. Is there anything you want to do while traveling?
No.
We can always take a look at the wildlife and plant life just to get the feeling for how this place is.
Mm-hmm. Try to find something that I haven't seen before.
Well, as I said when you first got here, it's very like rocky mountainous areas. Like most of it is just like stone and gravel, and you know the beaches are very like rocky beaches. They're not sand beaches. Like you find tufts of grass with some flowers growing in some of them. The flowers are relatively similar to the kinds of flowers that you'd find in the Dawn world. Only really Arisa is probably good at distinguishing specific like subtypes of flowers from one another. So she'd be able to like know what is exactly the same and what is slightly different from the Dawn world. But
yeah, makes sense.
The rest of you, they look normal. Like the environment here is, aside from being more rocky, it's pretty similar to the Dawn world. Like, you know, you don't find anything funky like massive mushrooms or glowing fruit on trees. You know, it's all just kind of ordinary.
I want to roll the magic mushroom table. Wow.
Well, go back to the Underdark then. Maybe then you'll
You fucking cave folk.
Okay, well, that was not quite how I meant it. I meant more like maybe it's time to do those kinds of quests down there, and then you will see it. But okay, you can interpret it whatever way you want. That's fine.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
But yeah, you keep going. Just a dull old day of walking and not really anything all that exciting happening, to be honest. But eventually, as you're drawing nearer to the evening, though there's still some sunlight because you would have set out pretty early, you can see as the mountains have now come quite a bit closer, there's some light kind of coming from this almost like valley. There are like mountains on three sides, and houses are kind of built up in like tiers along the kind of sloped landscapes here, all around this little valley. And you see, as you're able to see this, Wilfred just kind of looks over to you and says, "Well, this is the city. This is Sternold. Get there soon enough. It's close now." Arethusa is a bit less energetic now, having wasted most of her energy already, but she's still keeping up, just soldiering on. All right. Well, I hope you're ready to face the city.
Let's do it.
Keep in mind, people will probably stare at you. Nobody has ever really seen a group like you before.
Everyone stared at me at Dawnworld as well. No one has seen lizards there either.
Well, I'm certain that people move around a bit over there. Here it's more like you know what
there is to find here. Nothing from the outside can reach us, really, until now, at least.
Yeah, let's see the stairs. Bring him.
All right, follow along. And he continues forward. As you get to the city itself, there's like a wall that goes. It's not a high wall necessarily. It's pretty basic, kind of short-ish wall that from the little crest of the hill that you kind of went across when you saw the city first, you could easily look over it and into the city itself. But now you are faced with this wall, the gate. People are walking mainly into the city at this point, as it is getting late. See some kind of guards that just look at the people coming and going. Look at you. One of them crosses his arms, and Jaxson, you... or no, they wouldn't be speaking Carnarvon Common here necessarily as their first choice. So all of you just hear how he's like, Wilfred, who are you bringing along here, huh? These ones, we are here to speak with the Tide Warden about them. Alright then, alright. Can I at least have their names? Wilfred turns to you. You should, give him your names.
Captain Storm, at your service.
Right now. I just feel like someone is eventually going to write the entire thing down as your name.
Yes.
Jaxson Gillstar.
Dara
Fritz
Raethran.
Wiprecht. Yeah.
One at a time, folks.
Dara.
Dara Raethran.
Fritz Wiprecht.
Eli.
Oh.
Just Eli.
And Arisa comes in and just says her name as well. Alright, well, could barely understand all that, but, I think I got an approximate of your names. Alright, don't cause any trouble now. He kind of leans closer to Wilfred. And if they cause any trouble, it's on you. Alright? It's like...
We can take care of us.
Just taps the guard's shoulder. Oh, don't worry about it, Frederick. Alright. Well, let's go, people.
Woo!
That kind of nice guards.
Nah, I know them all, really. They're decent blokes. Nothing to worry about, just a bit of a tough exterior sometimes. Arethusa is kind of like starting to skip along again, and she's like, "Can we go see Aunt Henley now?" We'll go see the Tide Warden in the morning. It's getting kind of late, and I don't think she is taking visitors this late. Arethusa looks a bit defeated, but you know, she kind of seems to tell herself that it's like, okay, just one more day. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll show all of you to a local inn. I have some friends that I can stay with. But I'll show you to where you can stay. It's nothing glamorous, but at least you'll all have beds to sleep in.
Nice.
Well, that's only good enough for us.
All right. Well, follow along. It's just a minute down this way, and it kind of leads you into the city, and you eventually get to this unmarked building. There's no sign or anything outside. It's kind of like knocks with his fist on the sturdy wooden door, and it opens, and you see this man who looks kind of like a man-sized bird. Kind of like a falcon, but with the body of
of a human. And some wings, of course.
You didn't tell me there was...
Yes, he did.
He did.
Hello!
Who are these people? Wilfred, who are you bringing?
They are, He just leans in a bit closer so that nobody really hears. They are not from Karnara, and I'm taking them to see the Tide Warden. This, bird-like man takes a deep breath, just thinking about it, staring off a bit into the, nothingness above all of you.
Seems like the appropriate thing to do, I suppose. And I am guessing that they're staying here then. For the night, that is. Yeah. Alright. Come on in.
He just steps aside, looks at all of you as you walk past.
Wilfred, Arethusa, are you staying here as well?
No. We're going to see if none of our friends won't take us in. Otherwise, we might come back here if none of them wants us there.
Well, knowing you'll find someone to stay with. Alright, well, take care of you both. I'll take care of these slot.
Wilfred just kind of looks past the innkeep man and just says, I'll come here tomorrow and we'll meet outside in the morning, alright? Sound good?
Good night.
Excellent.
Sounds like they want to.
Arethusa kind of waves enthusiastically, and then the two of them walk away, leaving you there. The bird-like man just kind of looks at all of you.
Can you fly?
These wings are not made for nothing.
What? Can't you just fly out of here?
He meant that he can.
No,
Yeah, can we just fly over the vortex sea?
I'm not. It's pretty far to fly over an entire ocean. You realize that, right?
But, there might be a rock or island somewhere you can rest on. Yeah.
Well, I'm not really about to fly for, 20 miles uninterrupted. It's,
Adventure, man. That's why we are here.
I couldn't even make it to Aviarius and back.
Ah, yes.
Well, Storm, would you want to swim over the vortex sea?
If that is something that would come to mind, yeah, absolutely. But I'm too busy getting rich.
I don't mean to offend here, but are all the people from wherever you are from like you lot, or...?
No, we're
the better part.
We're one of the odd ones.
But we're still the best part.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm certain. Well...
Yeah. I was gonna roast the shit out of him, but I'm just not.
So...
Don't.
So, rooms for tonight? I'm looking forward to having a bed,
There is the common room.
Okay. Does that have a bed?
It has many beds, yes.
Perfect.
That sounds wonderful.
Some of them are already taken, obviously.
Oh wait, there's a room with beds.
Yes, the common room. You don't have common rooms where you're from?
No, there's like individual rooms.
Do you have that?
No.
Only one room with random folk sleeping.
Yes. Is there a problem?
No.
No, absolutely not. we are thankful for having a bed at least.
Yes.
Indeed.
Jaxson is suffering.
I'm assuming if you want separate rooms normally, are you at least accustomed to sharing beds?
Are you... How many beds are there? 3?
3.
Well,
Okay, we're playing a game who gets... wait. How many are we? We have to be 2 in each bed.
no, because Eli and Dara can sit on the floor, and
That's
Arisa-
I am very
Okay,
much
that's
looking
true.
forward to a
That's
good
true.
night's sleep here.
Mhm.
You have... You meditate, man.
Well, I still appreciate lying down from time to time.
But it's not necessary for you, so you can take this one for the team.
Take
Well,
me for the coworker.
I will gladly share a bed with anyone.
I
That
would
sounded a
not-
bit strange, but
Okay.
you know what I mean.
Eli and I. Yeah, Eli and I.
Oh.
We share that. Yeah.
Certainly.
Eli and I. Here we
Yes.
I will just go and take a bed.
go. Bam! Eli is small, that's why I took it.
He's skinny at
will take
least.
a
I mean,
bed
he's
and go to
normal height, but he's
He's skinny. I in my head I assume that.
yeah, no, he is. I mean, he has a negative strength modifier, and he is not malnourished, but he's definitely not.
Little Twinkie.
Is he as strong as Dara?
What is? How strong is Dara?
8.
I think that's yep, as strong as Dara.
Damn, bro. Damn.
That's why his shoulder popped when Storm shook it too hard.
So fucking cheating that Arisa can turn into something as well. Oh. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well,
There's every 5 hours she can turn into something.
are you all fine with your situation?
Indeed.
Yeah. Yes.
Remember, it's rude of beggars to be choosers.
Now, is that a saying here in Karnara?
Sorta, yeah.
Amazing. Well, much obliged. What was your name?
My name is... Wait, let me see.
Feather.
Flap.
My name is Julius.
Julian.
Yes, Julius.
Well, thanks, Julius. See you in the morning.
I assume you will be coming here for your porridge then.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Well, it can't be... Yeah. Hell yeah. We're coming for the porridge.
Excellent. He just kind of heads off.
I lay down in the bed.
Not the same bed,
But
but like.
yeah. The porridge can't be worse than the rusty helmet, right?
If that's so, I will never return here.
Yeah, I was saying. What about you, Fritz? You liked the porridge, though, didn't you?
It's fine.
He was nice, though. His Milos couldn't get any girl he ever wanted.
Actually true, though.
Yeah.
When he gave pepper and salt, damn. And then next day we get trying to killed by some purifier.
I guess the downside is the people. Or some of them.
Good old times.
By the way, I assume Jaxson and Fritz that the two of you shared the last bed then.
Sure. Yeah.
Considering that Arisa and Dara are probably taking the same bed.
Dora can see.
That saves one bed space.
Well, now we're gonna share a bed.
It's not like you need to share a bed. You don't even like sleep together.
Eli ever eaten porridge? You seem like a posh.
Of course. Porridge, my favorite.
Eli, stop. You don't have to lie.
All right, I have never eaten porridge. Are you happy now? Yes, I am a bit
you
posh.
will love it.
Well, I am curious. I've heard a lot about it.
It's not what they say. It's like it's delicious. It's really good.
Well, I had heard good things about it. So
Okay, good.
now I'm almost getting more worried that you feel the need to defend it.
Well,
I thought you were posh, so posh people usually don't like this.
Well, yes.
Just stop. Don't bully him. Let him
I'm not
try.
really. I'm just saying that.
Oh,
it's
You see,
my
in this
fault.
common room, there are like 2 more beds with 4 people in, and some of them are just like kind of looking over. One of them is like, so, people are trying to sleep here, yeah?
Sorry.
Oh,
Good night.
And then
yeah.
lies
good
back
night,
down.
lads.
Good night, stranger.
Good night. Okay, so you go to sleep.
Yes.
Alright. You wake up in the morning. Dara, you wake up early. Are you gonna take a long night, or are you gonna get up and go out into the, eating hall part of this, building?
I think I'll take a long night since everyone else is going to take a long night.
Fritz, how about you?
Yeah, same.
Alright. Well, then when the rest of you wake up, you find that Eli is not there. He seems to have already gotten up.
Eli didn't like the sound of porridge. Eh?
I don't think he sleep beside you.
I think he went out to meditate or something. Yeah.
No. But
Alright.
it's better than the floor, at least.
You
So I
see,
got a bed all for myself. You jealous? Yes, you are.
you see the stranger that kind of told you off a bit last night. He's this pretty kind of short-ish human, kind of like a gray beard, short, pretty thin, gray hair as well. A bit on the heavy side, just kind of like walks past you, Storm, just like taps you on the shoulder as you're getting up from the bed, and just like, good morning.
Morning.
Walks out.
Surprised he wanted to touch you.
Dwarf.
He
he's
stops
not-
and he looks around.
Hey,
Oh, what? A what
You,
now? What are you? What's well, I know what a gnome is. What is a dwarf?
It's like a short human that's fat and has a beard.
Are you saying that I'm fat?
I didn't say. I just said what a dwarf
Jack,
was.
you,
I just said what a dwarf was. He wanted to know what a dwarf was.
they're bulky, not fat.
Same.
I don't know which one of the islands that you're from, but remind me not to visit it. And he just walks
We
out.
are from here, this island.
I somehow doubt that.
Wow, racist.
All right. Well,
Can't believe the people here. Quite rude.
Take it easy now. We were supposed to not come in trouble, and here you calling strangers fat.
You called him fat,
I didn't call him nothing. I just called him a dwarf because
and he wanted to know what a dwarf was.
And you told him I was fat.
Yeah, of course.
We're gonna enjoy some porridge now, you little friend. You're gonna enjoy it so much. I'm going to watch you suffer.
so as you go out, you find Eli sitting there eating this porridge, like mouthful of it. Oh, where did Leon go? There he is. See Eli just like spoon in his mouth with the porridge, and he's like, this is really good.
What?
This is my second bowl. I asked the innkeeper for another one. You know what's even better? It's apparently completely free here. Who would have thought that they would give away quality food like this?
I don't remember paying for the bed either.
No, it's all free. This is a charity, apparently. See, it all makes sense. Beggars can't be choosers, am I right? We're getting this for free. Isn't this just amazing? I am not regretting jumping through this portal anymore. I mean, this place is wonderful. If I didn't miss my home so much, I'd almost want to stay.
I need to pay for this.
All right. Well, the Aarakocra man just comes over, carrying two wooden bowls with porridge. Just looks over at your table where you've kind of gathered, I assume. All right. Want your breakfast?
Indeed.
Yes, thanks.
Slams two of those bowls down. I'll be back with more.
When he comes back, I'm gonna tip in 1 gold piece.
Looks at it, takes the coin, looks at it. Donations are always welcome. And then he keeps walking.
Now I'm not a charity case anymore.
Well, alright, I'm starting to feel a lot better about my poshness now. I mean, I'm starting to feel normal here.
Well, let's try this thing then.
It's very bland.
What the flip?
Like, it's completely tasteless. The texture's fine, but it just doesn't taste anything.
I gave him a bit too much money.
You might not be a charity case, but you're an idiot case, so...
Makes a lot of sense. You're quite spicy today.
I'm not the one called the dwarf fat.
Spice.
But you called him a dwarf when he clearly was a human.
What? Dara, what is that thing? I point.
Just a short human.
Well, I believe that is a living human.
I mean, he's like just under 170 tall. Like, he's not short. He's on the shorter side of things. Like,
I mean, usually when you see a dwarf, there's usually like a head shorter at least.
I haven't seen too many dwarves in my days. So.
Or you...
We have met multiple dwarves.
Yes.
Yeah, but before that.
the tallest dwarf you ever seen was like 5 feet, so like 150. This man is a solid like head taller than that.
Shit.
Well, everyone makes mistakes, so the good thing is that you won't have any repercussions because we're leaving.
Just
Repercussions of what?
don't try to insult people, okay?
I've never done.
So you mean you're unintentionally insult people?
Let's just not get wanted here, too. And then we'll be fine.
I agree with that sentiment.
We're
So,
going home and then
no
we can be
killing,
wanted there
no
instead.
murder, no crimes.
Why would we kill anyone here?
They are everyone so nice.
Yes.
Except the
I just want to make sure that
Eli, have you contacted the captain? Because otherwise they have traveled a day or like 2 days.
Please.
Without...
Well, yes, I did send him a quick message.
When?
Well, yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
So we don't have to wait in the citadel for like a day.
Oh, no. Well, we need the chalks first, obviously, you know. Can't make the circle if I don't have the chalk.
yes.
We're
and
gonna
we're
speak to
gonna-
the ant. Ant is probably gonna...
Oh,
fix
this
that.
Tide Warden, yes. I'm very curious about her.
Why?
Well, apparently it's some interesting heroic figure in charge. I mean, this
we
is
could
an experience.
Or beat her.
Yeah,
Is
you're working with the coworkers.
that all you can think about?
We are the most powerful crew to ever existed.
Well,
Okay.
there are more.
We're
Yes.
gonna beat the Vortex Man.
Did you see that big golem we fucked up? No, you didn't, because you were in the room doing stuff when we were fighting.
Impressive.
yeah.
I will give you that.
Without a
Yeah.
single scratch.
And and
Yeah.
I think you're forgetting about someone that looked quite scratched up after
No,
that fight.
Fritz was completely fine. It was calculated.
well,
Fritz?
Storm was that big part.
Yeah, I don't think I have a lot of say in this. Just they'll say their shtick. Just go along with it.
Very well.
But
He takes
for
it easy.
FYI, like, no, I did not feel very good.
All right. I suspected as much. Well, we're here now. Strange lands.
Well,
Yeah. It's an interesting place, and I would like to explore some. See what this
Wow.
place has to offer.
Well, it would be very nice, but we have to consider that we have a mission to attend to.
Of course, but you know, Master
Okay,
Ignis, and I know Master Ignis quite
Like 2
well.
days
and-
ago. Don't go with that thing.
Oh no, it was still a horrible idea. Trust me, I haven't changed my mind on that. But now we might as well make the best out of the situation.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Hopefully we do.
Something interesting pops up, well, then we can check it out. If we find something valuable here, understand
Well-
how much the price will be 10 times more at Dawnworld, because they've never seen something like it before.
Storm,
Yes.
Storm. When we get the sharks, let's do a heist. And then just teleport out of here. And it will be like priceless, because it's only been.
We have to
If
find
it's-
something to hide first.
I will.
Just ask people. They're so nice.
I will point out that a teleportation circle takes a while to cast. It's not an instant thing. I need to draw the
How-
circle very carefully, and
Well, if you draw it like before, and we just go there after.
the moment it's complete, it triggers.
But can't you just wait with this last, like...
There we go.
I need to continuously channel energy into it, and chances are that I will run dry of magic, and then...
Okay, so how long will it take?
What is the casting time? Is it like 1 minute or 10
1
minutes?
minute.
I can't remember. Is it 1 minute?
Yeah, I checked it up right now because I wanted to check on the price.
Well, it's 1 minute.
Well, that's not too bad.
Look, I'm not sure if
you
I...
are only the getaway here. You are not doing anything bad.
By the way, you realize that this is where we are all from, right? Like, this is the lands of our ancestors.
What?
No, I'm from Themera.
No.
I'm from
Way
Daytona.
back, alright? Like, we can trace our lineages directly back to this place.
If that's the case,
Well,
then
okay,
we're just taking what's ours.
I don't think that's quite... That was not my
My
point here. That was more of an interest... I'm not certain about you, Storm. I will be fair. I haven't heard of any Lizardfolk being here, nor Jaxsonian, so it's possible that your people comes from a different place. But the rest of... Well, alright, Dara, I will give you that as well. I don't know if Drow, Goliath...
Well, this fool is blessed or
Existing.
something.
So, what?
Either.
Do you assume I'm just a human?
No, but you're... Well, you are
Are you attacking my
Thremeran.
race now?
You are Thremeran. And Thremerans generally hail from the same place that the rest of the Dawn World does.
So I'm not a human.
If you look at what we were told, I'm not certain if you listened closely enough, but yesterday, or I've lost track of the days here because we've
been here one day.
Either way, our first day here, Wilfred told us something about the last Alder King, and if you know anything about our history, the Alder King, Wurtgorn, was the first person to lead our people to the Dawn World. According to the legend, anyway. I would need to ask Master Ignis for the full story, but the implications are clear. The legends say that the Alder King, he was the first king of the Dawn World.
Was he like a god or something?
Do you not know about Wurtgorn the Alder King?
He just led us to the Dawn World. From here to Dawn World, and then he jerked out the vortex monster in between, and then we can't do nothing.
No. Did you not hear what Wilfred said? Nobody has left the island since the last Alder King.
Well, I remember that.
Oh.
The Alder King was legendary. His ship named after the Alder Queen, the Boudica.
Things had disappeared, so they had indeed left this place. We met one who left this place.
Well, reliably bringing thousands of people with him.
We could have probably taken the whole ship with us if we wanted.
Listen, that rift was a temporary, unstable thing. You could not have... Chances are it would have collapsed after a few more people. It was foolish to even bring this many of us through.
It was destiny.
Yes,
listen,
everything we do is destiny.
You're welcome, Eli.
I'm starting to connect the dots, that's all I'm saying. Besides, haven't you thought about the fact that our languages are the same as the languages here? That's just another implication that we hail from these lands. Yes, so obviously we are from here. The language is different. It's changed over time along two separate paths. But nonetheless, it's the same language. The root,
your
anyway.
ancestors are believe in elven supremacy, then?
He said that elves lived outside this strange Veridentia as well. No. Now you haven't been paying attention again. Listen, he said that there are 2 islands where the elves lived, only one of which he accused of being supremacist and isolationist.
So it's 50% that you hail from premises.
I would say that it is less than that.
A coin. Heads or tails.
I happen to be quite aware of my lineage, and I have a feeling that I'm not part of that.
A feeling?
Well, yes, call it a feeling.
Why does it matter? You are not racist,
No.
Oh, well, then it doesn't matter.
Well, why make the accusation, Jaxson?
I would say that you maybe hail from those people.
Well, you're Thromeran.
I know.
You're Thromeran.
I never said anything about it.
It had a very negative connotation.
Anything like that.
You just called the human fat dwarf.
You're racist.
I believe, Storm, you were the one that called him a dwarf. Jaxson was the one who called him fat.
No, I just said that dwarves are usually fat.
You know what?
There are implications to what both of you said was. Listen, I'm not here to argue. I'm just saying I am interested in finding out more about this place because this has a major historical significance. And now I wish that Master Ignis was here with us because he would have the day of his life.
Yes, he would. He would almost die of freaking overhype.
Right, and I would like to bring something back to...
A heist?
No, not stealing something, just some proof that this is
real.
this is where we're from.
Maybe a map and like some history books.
A turtle shell.
Just
I
don't
did
do
not
anything
mean to-
stupid.
You could. Yeah.
Listen,
Okay,
we can
hey,
save this
look who's
discussion
coming
for
here.
later.
Wilfred is coming.
He's outside.
You just
No,
say
that's
that.
not Wilfred.
Everybody looks over. See another turtle who kind of walks in.
You're a racist, Storm!
Oh no, never mind.
Just kind of smiles in your direction, gives you a nod. This one is way older, you realize quite quickly. Like, he looks old. Walks really slowly over to Julius. You do what?
Ice break the conversation, yo.
Isn't that like it? I don't
Yeah, that
know
was no
anymore.
icebreaker.
At that point, you hear a knock on the door, and the innkeep Julius walks over, and you can, Storm, you are the first to recognize Wilfred's voice outside. He's like,
Boom, Wilfred.
I'm here to, oh, there they are. Hello. I hope you slept well. Could Julius afford you the luxuries that I couldn't?
Indeed.
Yes.
Great. Well, you see Arethusa again is kind of like skipping in front of of Wilfred and just waves and is like, hi. Eager to see you all again. All right. Shall we get going then?
I believe it's a
Go.
good idea.
Let's go.
To Holden Hall. And he begins to walk along the relatively narrow road that this inn is located on. But you follow him. The houses here in the city, now that it's brighter outside and you have more of an opportunity to look at them, they're mainly like stone and timber. Most of the wood itself is quite dark in color, much like his little village that the house is there. It's quite a cozy feeling. You see, there are these kind of fires that grow, or that glow and light up the paths. Yeah, misspeaking. No, but there are like torches lining the streets that seem to glow both day and night. And as you make your way along what looks like it's some sort of main street, you can see eventually a set of stairs leading up to up along the kind of tiers of this edges of this city. And straight ahead, looking up, you can see that there's a bigger house at the end of these stairs. It's going to be quite a climb, but at the end there is this more elegant looking, bigger kind of house. And Arethusa is just kind of like running up the stairs, just pausing a little while to like wait for the rest of you, and then starts running up a few more. She has a lot of energy, is quite clear at this point. But eventually you make the climb up to the top of the stairs. And you see ahead of you is a pretty impressive looking gate to this building. There are two of these guards standing outside. As they see Wilfred, as they see Arethusa come up first, she greets them by name and everything, and they're like, "Oh, hi." Seem to be familiar with her. Wilfred following soon thereafter, and then the rest of you, as they see you, they kind of pause for a moment, and they just turn to Wilfred. So who is it that you are bringing along today, Wilfred? He just briefly kind of like explains that, keeping it on the down low, that you are not from Karnara and that you're here to speak with the Tide Warden. They seem interested and intrigued by this, so they just kind of signal you to enter, and they open the gate. And inside you see this pretty like vast stone floor It's been polished to the point where it's almost like shiny. Long carpet rolled out. These wooden beams along the sides, high ceiling with a natural light kind of shining in from both sides of the ceiling. And at the end of it, you see, or at the end of this hall, there are two long tables on each side. But you see some people that are kind of talking with each other. And one of them sticks out slightly from the rest. You see this human woman, probably around her late 40s, kind of sun-tanned skin, quite bright gray eyes, short gray hair with hints of brown, and she wears this steel chest plate over a relatively simple blue tunic and a washed out orangish cloak that is draped mainly over her left shoulder. As she notices Wilfried and your approach, Arethusa just runs past, and runs up to her and just like throws her arms around her. And you can hear how she's like, Aunt Henley! And she kind of hugs Arethusa back. Says, hello there, Arethusa. Who is your father bringing along with him today? Hello, Wilfried. He kind of gives a nod and just says, Tidewarden. Who do I have the pleasure to speak with today,
Well, we are the co-workers.
The co-workers.
The co-workers. I prefer if you would give me your names as well.
That's a storm at your service. Point to the next one.
Jaxson, Gillstar.
Dara, Raethran.
Fritz Wiprecht.
You gotta work for that.
Yeah.
Perhaps you do. Well, greetings, co-workers. My name is Tidewarden Henley Bryce Gertz. It is a pleasure to welcome you to Holden Hall.
Much obliged.
So, it seems to me that you have some important matter. Would that be correct to assume?
Yes.
We want to get home.
Right. Well, I assume this home is perhaps not as close as it normally would be.
The other side of the vortex sea.
She kind of closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, sighs. Right. Let's go talk somewhere more in private, shall we? How about my private study?
Sounds good.
She kind of looks at Arethusa. Arethusa, I will gladly speak more with you later, but would you take your father and just, I don't know, find something to do here? She's like, can I look at the armory? If your father permits it, you can go together. All right, co-workers, follow me. She leads the way off into the kind of back right corner of this this hall and into another room. Close the door behind you.
Fritz.
I closed the door.
Yeah. You see this this kind of bench that has been padded with some kind of, just pillows and there's a backrest for it as well. On the opposite side of a desk where she sits down, and she just gestures at this bench for you to seat yourselves. All right, so foreigners from another place.
Yes.
Indeed.
Do go ahead. Explain. How did this happen?
We were on
Stop.
a ship.
He smelled sapphires.
I smelled sapphires. Saw a crackling thing in the ocean. like glowing, and we went through it thinking it was
A
a
rift,
good idea.
I assume.
Yes. Got into the water, fought some water elementals, found another rift, and then look what washed up on the shore. We did.
I think that summarizes everything.
Indeed.
She kind of sits there, just thinking.
Know anything about Dawnworld?
I don't. Would you happen to know where it is in relation to Karnara?
Yeah, I would say that, probably.
Well, then I suspect that I do know a little bit about it. But not much. Well, that the last older king, and by proxy thus also the last king to reign on Karnara, that is the direction that he left with his people. Much more than that I do not know. We have hardly had any contact with your people since. And it has been 1,500 years or so it's not exactly like my...
This is bullcrap.
Well, I'd imagine, however different you may look from us, I'd imagine you are from here as well.
Have you ever seen one like me?
No, but it doesn't mean that it is not possible that something could have changed in your people after you left. After all, there were many other peoples before the Older King that set out to explore the world and settle elsewhere.
Someone did it dirty with the lizard?
You see, she kind of smiles, but then starts shaking her head, and she just says, "No, no, that is definitely not what I'm implying. But there are magical ways that could influence a lineage over time. I believe that if you go far enough back, the wood elves of the Viridentia would have been one people with the high elves of Alneus. For instance. Yet now there are noticeable biological differences between the two, in terms of appearance. Though they were once one. Just elves, no prefix to it. You see at that, Eli kind of like leans over to you, Jaxson, just says, "Well, I am a high elf, and she just said that the wood elves are from the supremacist Viridentia."
Oh!
Fair play. Fair play.
Eli 1, Jaxson 0.
So he kind of smiles and looks all like satisfied with himself, as in like, "Yeah, I'm getting it." And just leans back, arms crossed.
Yeah,
Arms crossed.
Fritz leads in towards Jaxson. Like, I'm kind of starting to like Eli.
I mean, he's not as boring as before.
Well, nonetheless, I don't believe that this should be a history lesson necessarily.
I like that though.
Well, I believe that there are those more qualified to teach history than I am personally. I may be a tide warden of a relatively high position, but I am not a scholar of our past. No matter. Well, you're looking to get home, yes?
Yes.
Oh, we need some expensive chalk.
Surely. Just gonna
Indeed. I look at
Eli.
He said that.
Yes. And he kind of gives a brief explanation of the chalks. Like, well, I need chalks that are formed in areas that are very rich of minerals, like gems, for instance. And he goes into this elaborate explanation. She just looks extremely confused. I'm afraid that I am not familiar with any such chalks. Though I suppose if there was anyone that would know about it, that somebody would likely be located in Mechanamentum. Your best bet, if you believe to have certain means of transportation, magical or not, reliant on these chalks, would definitely be to seek them out. However, I feel that I should say that the rifts that frequently plague us here, the thinned veil between the realms, the elemental plane and the material plane, in addition to the tide barrier that does its best to counteract those, has proven to make matters complicated when talking about teleportation in particular. You see, to this, Eli kind of like grows a bit anxious almost. Just kind of under his breath, just says like, oh, that's not good.
Can't we just find the rift then? And just jump back through it?
These are not the same kinds of rifts that you came here through. I'm talking about a rift that is more subtle and significantly larger. I'm talking about the rift that is essentially torn an open hole between the planes, specifically in this part of the material plane. It is possible to travel. However, I believe that you would still need to leave the safe confines of the tide barrier before you could do so.
So we will get eaten by the Kraken
I'm
while we're casting it.
not sure what you mean by Kraken. And not necessarily. Airships are always an option. They can move far enough to just barely graze the outsides of the tide barrier. Though if you need a longer period of time for this, Eli kind of says, just 1 minute. Well, 1 minute. There should be no issue then to get you far enough away from the tide barrier to be able to stay there for 1 minute. That said,
how far is it to the shark place?
To Mechanamentum,
Mechanamentum.
well, that would depend somewhat. Are we speaking about means of airship or on land? It is one of the
Airship.
only... Well, in that case, the easiest route would be for you to go on foot, either to Mildercrag or to Titanhut. And from there, you would be able to take an airship to Fuelville.
Wait, the airships cost, right?
Yes, naturally.
Expensive as hell.
We left almost a lot of our gold behind.
Fritz and Dara has everything.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
But how much do they have? We at least have 4,000. I think.
Let me just quickly check the actual cost of this route, because this is
Can't we get
expensive.
diplomacy prices?
Wait, let me check this. Okay, so
do
you
they
would
have
need
a
to go.
student rabatt?
Do they have like your first ride for free?
I work here, so do I get the...
Passage would be the cheapest from from Tidenhut to Fuel Town. It would cost you 506 gold pieces per person.
Okay, yeah. How can you walk to Macadamia?
Machinamentum.
Yep, Macadamentum.
Well, that would include going down to Mildercrag, the capital of our island, and then doing a quite difficult crossing via Solheith over to the coast near Pinbell. And from there you can simply follow the main road all the way to Sparkle Town, which is likely where you would need to go.
How many days would you say this would take?
It would be quite a long journey, I'm not going to lie to you. Weeks at least.
Oh.
But then we have failed our mission, probably.
I would guess over a month, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah, that might...
Why did we go through this?
I have another suggestion.
We can become fishermen with Wilfred, yeah.
No. See, I wish to help you, as best as I can. Though it is my duty to protect the people of Karnara, we don't really have anything specifying that somebody setting their foot on Karnara from outside would not be included in that. Thus, I say that it would be part of my duty to help you as well. I grow worried about this. The fact that you appeared within the borders of the Tide Barrier. The Tide Barrier is meant to prevent rifts from opening within. And the fact that you were dropped here, not just that you were dropped near Karnara, which implies that the rifts are spreading outside of our continent, it also makes me worry that this is something that could happen more often from now on. And I believe that this is something that needs to be dealt with. I think that it would be in everyone's best interest to work together here, rather than you going off and spending whatever money you may or may not have to afford a trip to Machinamentum to then, you would need to hire a whole airship to go beyond the borders of the Tide Barrier to perform this spell, and that, I am afraid, would cost you several times that what it would cost to go to Machinamentum and back. I can get you the means of transportation, or rather, my cousin could. However, it would require your cooperation. I suspect that my cousin, who for the sake of transparency is the Lord Protector of this island, that she would wish to take you to an official summit of the Lord Protectors to discuss this matter. It would take days, yes, but I'm afraid you don't have many options that are faster than that. And I believe that if anybody could actually solve your situation, it would be the Lord Protectors. I have some suspicions of what you could do, but I cannot quite give you the funding that you require.
Well, let's go to the Lord Protectors then.
I agree.
Adventure.
You can stay here for a moment.
Stop the rifts.
You see as she gets up and she leaves the room and she calls over someone, and you hear from outside that she just says, "Message the Lord Protector. Tell her to come here as fast as she can. And say that there are more people that have come from outside Karnara."
Dun, dun, dun,
And then
dun.
she returns to you.
What do you mean more?
Well, there has been one more recent report of people arriving from outside.
Kessler.
I don't know more than that. But I know that my cousin, once she arrives, can tell you more. She should be here tomorrow around the afternoon.
You have not met these other...
No, and it's one person as far as I know. I'm afraid I cannot answer more about that as of right now, but as I said, my cousin, the Lord Protector of our island, would likely be able to give you more information, and at the very least you will receive all you need to know at the summit, if she does indeed deem it necessary to call for one.
Perfect.
In the case of a summit, I believe that you will have your curiosity satisfied regarding the airships. As a matter of fact, if you're lucky, you might even get to travel on a very special one. But I don't want to get your expectations too high in case the summit is called off. But I believe that the Lord Protectors are overdue for a summit as it is. Well, anyway. Is there anything I can do to accommodate you for the time being?
I think we have everything that we need.
Very well.
Yeah.
In that case, do you have lodgings?
Well, we had at least temporary lodgings for the night.
As Julius.
Right. Well, if you would like something a bit more comfortable, I could offer you some rooms here.
That would be lovely.
Rooms that we don't share.
Is it normal for people outside Karnara to be so private about their sleeping habits?
Yes, you get together with one person like Arisa and Dara here, and you can be those two, but you don't sleep in the same room as other people. Unless you're the co-workers, of course, then you have to do that sometimes, but you know.
It's very shy.
Interesting customs, I must say. No, I'm afraid I do not have enough rooms for all of you.
Eli.
Do you have enough beds?
Well, I have spacious beds.
How many?
Well, I have enough for all 6 of you.
Whoa, let's
Enough
go.
room, that is.
Oh.
In 2
Wait.
beds.
One.
Two.
But I assure you, they are spacious.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Eli, and Tornado. You others can have the other ones. You know, we are three in the first, but
I don't think tornado qualifies.
I think he does.
I'm happy as long as I don't have to be with Arisa and Dara. Then I'm happy.
Mate, then we're gonna be 5 in our bed.
So maybe you can sleep on like
If
a bed.
you prefer, I could have one additional servant's bed placed in the room with you. However,
That would be...
it is not as comfortable.
My servant's bed. Yeah, that's right. Noobs.
Yeah, fine.
Very well. I will have the servants put one extra bed in one of the rooms.
Let's go.
I'm afraid we don't exactly waste material on many single beds. It is much more convenient to produce fewer numbers of larger beds, less material and everything.
Nice. So wait, she won't come today?
Tomorrow.
It
right?
takes time. She's traveling from the capital.
Well, anything we can do at the meantime? You know, adventure, you know, killing some water elementals.
Adrenaline.
You are free and welcome to move around in the city as you like.
Artifacts,
Do you have any...
fire elementals. What's with the fire elementals?
Oh, well, a very long time ago, there was essentially a pact that was formed between some of the more sentient members of the elemental species and our kinds, the mortal ones.
The fire ones is the sentient ones.
There are sentient members of all elemental types. However, since we were essentially at war with the elementals of water and of stone or earth, it was easiest to forge pacts with their opposites. As it turns out, elementals are always eager to gain an advantage over their enemies, and fire and water happen to be mortal enemies, as is the case with air and earth. Now, since we have been plagued by two of them, the others were happy to help. We would essentially fight their war for them. And in exchange, we received things such as heating during winter and the means to create airships.
Interesting.
Oh, air elementalist.
The air elementals aid in propelling these airships, yes. They have been awfully generous in providing us with, I suppose you would call it manpower.
Where can you find the elemental? I want the elemental as pet.
We treat them with as much dignity as we can and would not refer to them as pets. They are allies.
Pet. Okay, I want one as my co-worker.
Then I'm afraid you would need to seek out the masters of the elements and strike a bargain with them personally.
The hell is a master of the elements?
Well, the sentient members of their species.
Ooh. Where do we have a sentient being of the fire ones?
On the elemental plane of fire.
No.
In their more populated areas.
Can we travel there?
It is difficult due to the tide barrier.
Ah, yeah, right. Never mind. I thought you had like hotline to the hotline. You get it?
It has been a long time since the deal was struck, and it was essentially a deal that was meant to not end until the rifts are perfectly closed and Karnara is restored to what it should be. Until then, we will continue to get aid, and we will continue to aid our elemental allies. It is simple. No need for continued communication between our species.
Once struck, the deal stands.
What happens if water elemental walks into the barrier?
They are prevented from getting through, but should one get through, the Tide Wardens, myself included, would be alerted of a breakthrough, and thus we can be dispatched to deal with the intruders before they cause any harm.
If Vortex Man run into
The Tide Barrier is essentially better at protecting against larger foes than smaller ones. View it as a net. A particularly small fish could slip through, but a big one will certainly be caught.
Nice. So,
Do you have any tourist attractions here?
Considering that we don't exactly have tourists, I'm afraid we don't.
Well, I mean, from other islands, maybe.
Yes, though it is such a difficult journey to make, and such an expensive one that most people live and die on the same island.
Okay.
It is quite rare to be able to afford the journey from one island to the other. Of course, this island and Mechanamentum have a somewhat increased number of travelers and immigrants, though even then not many would like to brave the path across the sea.
is there anything that's valuable in this? Like, where do you find? Do you search for gems in the mountains?
Well, that would be in Mechanamentum, where the gems of Karnara come from, where you would potentially be headed for these chalks, should you go with that plan. Sparkletown, as interesting as the name may be, the gnomes have a particular sense of humor. Sparkletown is where most gems are exported from.
But what is in this town that's interesting?
Well, we are a relatively humble town, or city as it should be more appropriately called. It is not meant to be an attraction for people to come and see, necessarily. Holden Hall that you are currently in is possibly one of the more interesting sights, though even that is relatively humble. We have temples dedicated to the Lord Protectors, the founders, that is. If you wish to see that and learn something about our culture and history, then that would be where to go. Otherwise, I'm not quite certain. The statue of Forthwind, perhaps?
Well, we'll watch what the town city has to offer and return for lodgings.
Right.
Nice. And talk with tomorrow.
Very well. I will possibly come see you again before nightfall, once you have returned here for lodging, simply to make sure that everything is in order. But until then, I hope that you enjoy this little fragment of Mediatus that you are able to see for now.
Indeed. Much obliged, Henley. Aunt Henley. Let's go, Aunt Henley.
It is not many people that would call me that.
Well, you have a new one.
I must insist that I be called Tide Warden, or Tide Warden Henley, if you so wish to use my name.
Tide Warden Henley.
Yes, that is most appropriate.
Perfect.
Very well. You are free to explore the city as you wish. Should anybody bother you, which I doubt that they would, then simply threaten them with my presence.
Or mine. Keep...
No.
Okay, yours. Keep a weather eye out.
Is that a phrase from where you are from?
Yes, him.
Indeed.
Hmm.
The
Very
seas.
specific to him.
Very well. Farewell, and I will see you later. So, as you leave the study, I believe that is probably a good point to end the session, because it's getting late and we're going to have to keep this on the shorter side of things. But yeah, hey, you've gotten to explore a little piece of Karnara.
Yeah.
Next time you can do some more exploring of Sternhold.
Watch us as we take down the living vortex next session. Easy.
Vortex man, let's go.
Well, I'm not so certain that you will do that, but
Yeah, it's
We can
probably
try.
great.
yeah, sure.
It sounds like really, really, really high challenge rating.
There is that implication, yes.
I mean, if it has the power to like make a big vortex kind of thing in the ocean, then I feel like it's probably pretty strong.
Probably. I mean, it eats ships pretty much, so.
Yeah.
Big ships. Alright, well, with that, I suppose we will just close this session. Alright, well, we'll see you soon whenever our next session can be scheduled for. Maybe it's going to be this late again, maybe it'll be early next time, hopefully not early.
Hopefully
not too early.
Well, not early as in like before 12.
Yes. Early.
No. You're like the only one that gets up that early in this group.
Yes.
Or maybe Leon does.
I do.
Well, look, most of us are dysfunctional human beings that don't live normal ways. And that's fine, by the way. Because, hey, who cares, right?
Yep.
Anyway, we'll see when the next session is.
For you.
Keep notifications turned on Twitter if you want to know when we go live, or just, notifications on Twitch works as well. Though if you want like a minute or two to tune in before, then Twitter is the way to go, because on Twitch, you're missing the awesome intros.
Indeed.
Our messy little small talk that we start these things with. Well, anyway, I don't think that there's much else left to be said, so until next time.
Indeed.
Peace out.
Keep a weather eye out.
Bye.
Bye.
Square up.